Welcome to the Saucy Scribes podcast.
I'm Alex, your resident book psycho.
I'm Ashley, your crystal-loving cat lady.
And I'm Allie, your aspiring author.
Today, we are returning to Sarah A. Parker's breathtaking world in Ballad of Falling Dragons, the highly anticipated second installment in the Moonfall series. This next chapter expands the world in every direction, drawing us deeper into ancient magic, dragon bonds, forgotten truths, and impossible choices as the threat of the Moonfall grows ever closer.
Because some stories are best unpacked with a drink in hand, on this podcast, we pair great books with even better cocktails. Today, we're giving you a quick rundown of the drinks we've lined up for this episode, so keep an eye on our Instagram at SaucyScribesPod, where the full recipes drop every Monday. This month, we drew inspiration from some of the most unforgettable moments in Ballad of Falling Dragons: forbidden tomes, ancient blood magic, memory-eating waifs, and moons destined to fall from the sky. Whether you're joining us with a cocktail, a mocktail, or just a very large emotional support beverage, grab your glass and let's toast to another unforgettable adventure in Sarah A. Parker's world.
And with our glasses poured, let's dive into our first cocktail. Hidden deep within the High Treasury, the Book of Voyd is the kind of knowledge kingdoms would burn for. The moment Rave steals it, every choice that follows is written in smoke, blood, and dragonfire. Inspired by forbidden magic and the cost of uncovering the truth, this is the Book of Voyd. Built on smoky mezcal with bittersweet amaro, rich vermouth, and dark berry notes. It's finished with a charred orange peel and a reminder that some pages leave burn marks long after they've been turned.
Every fantasy world has that one delightfully weird little creature, and Ballad is no exception. Borg is a grumpy waif who survives by feeding on memories, especially the painful ones. Khan keeps a very unusual arrangement with him, trading traumatic memories in exchange for information, while Borg happily hums away, enjoying every bite. Borg's Jar of Mist is a light, ethereal mocktail that shimmers with quiet magic, sweet, refreshing, and just mysterious enough to make you wonder what memories it might be hiding.
And speaking of painful memories, Sareem's bloodbind has been slowly destroying Rave from the inside out, leaving her in relentless agony until an unlikely ally offers her one chance at freedom. Deep beneath the city, Avi performs an ancient ritual using Rave's own blood to unravel the curse and bind it instead to the Book of Voyd. Inspired by that haunting ritual, Bloodbind is a bright tequila cocktail layered with fresh lemon, cooling mint, and a crimson float of dry red wine. As the wine slowly seeps into the drink, it mirrors the blood magic itself and the moment the curse is finally broken.
And for our final pour, throughout the novel, the threat of the moonfall looms over every choice the characters make. When the moment finally arrives, the sky itself begins to unravel as the moons crash to the earth, forever changing the world they fought so hard to save. Inspired by that breathtaking finale, Moonfall begins as a bright gin gimlet, but hidden within is a shimmering butterfly pea flower tea ice sphere. As it slowly melts, the cocktail transforms before your eyes, just like the world beneath the falling moons.
And those are our Ballad of Falling Dragons cocktails. We hope these drinks bring a little extra magic to your reading experience. If you recreate any of them, be sure to tag us. We absolutely love seeing your creations and hearing which cocktail became your favorite. Cheers, scribes!
Cheers!
I'm drinking a bloodbind today.
As am I.
Yum.
Our Patreon is live. If you love the show, consider becoming a first-year scribe for just $5 a month. You'll get early access to our ad-free episodes, a digital cocktail booklet for each book we cover, and an exclusive printable dust sleeve designed to mimic the look of vintage leather-bound books. Perfect for dressing up your romantasy shelf. This membership is a way to support the show and help us continue bringing this magical, messy, and swoony content to life. And if you've got a moment, we'd love if you rated and reviewed the podcast wherever you are listening.
Now we enter our villain era. We need to give a spoiler warning. We will be discussing all of Ballad of Falling Dragons, including anything from when the moon hatched and anything Sarah Parker has said in interviews. If we reference another series spoiler, we will give a spoiler sound in the episode so you can skip ahead.
As we settle in for this episode, a quick content and trigger warning. Ballad of Falling Dragons is a story of impossible choices, enduring grief, found family, and the sacrifices that shape us. While it's filled with breathtaking fantasy, dragons, and ancient magic, it also explores abuse, trauma, loss, and violence in ways that may be emotionally difficult for some listeners. As always, scribes, protect your peace, check your triggers, and take care of yourself first. Now, let's see what happens when the moons begin to fall. Alex, take us in.
So the prologue starts with the music of the creators suddenly going silent, which is basically the fantasy equivalent of every emergency siren going off at once. Then Slatra literally falls out of the sky. A wounded Fae woman crawls from the wreckage, is immediately captured and thrown into a dungeon where years of torture forge her into a weapon. Meanwhile, the creators are watching like, maybe imprisoning Salus and underestimating the power of love wasn't our best decision. You think? Since this is book 2, we realize that woman is Rave.
Yes.
Then we jump to present Khan, who's visiting the shattered remains of Slatra and vows to put every piece back together because this man refuses to let anything or anyone go. Instead of hearing from Rave, he learns Taros is headed to Bothame with Rex Zaros, where Khan is pretty sure Rave is also waiting to murder him. Then comes Borg, the grumpy waif living in a jar of mist, we called it, who only trades information for memories. Khan has to relive his father throwing him into a pit just to learn that Roan is alive, but awaiting execution in Botham. And because the universe wasn't finished piling on, Lumo has a vision. Multiple moons are about to fall. Ashley, why is one apocalypse never enough?
Why, Alex? Because suffering builds character, apparently. Meanwhile, Kaisari is rotting in prison, convinced she's doomed Khan, when a paper lark literally flies in and starts smacking her until she pays attention. Honestly, magical mail has zero patience. Inside is her old plea for help, with a reply added underneath. Even creepier, the handwriting matches the childish writing carved into her prison walls, meaning someone survived this cell before she did. Instantly, Kazari goes from I'm giving up to absolutely not. If they escaped, I'm escaping. Then Vea reads Elowen's diary and uncovers one of the biggest twists in the series. Kaisari isn't Tyroth's daughter. She's Khan's. Excuse me? That is not a plot twist. That is a fantasy DNA test. Meanwhile, Rave is trapped beneath the ice inside her own mind. She stumbles into memories of a little girl protecting a dragon egg, bonding with her silver moon plume, and realizes that little girl was her, which absolutely broke me.
And speaking of broken, Vea cannot catch a break. She goes to meet Rasha, finds Rasha's dragon hanging from a cave wall, watches Rasha get murdered, collapses in the cave, gets speared by Tyroth, and then learns she unknowingly poisoned Elowen's family because her memories had been magically altered. Girl, you need a vacation. Except Tyroth leaves her for dead, and Bayron swoops in to save her instead. Meanwhile, Khan and Pyrox sneak into Roan's trial. Roan reveals the Book of Voyd has disappeared, accidentally tells everyone about the protective runes guarding the Citadel, and the Tri-Council responds by sentencing him to death. Khan's reaction, we're gonna break him out. And I love that energy. But at the same time, Botham is descending into complete chaos as magical parchment larks warn everyone about the coming moonfalls. Rave and Utris are trying to dispose of Rek's body when Rave spots prisoners being ferried across the underground lake. She knocks Utris out because communication is obviously overrated, rushes back and locks eyes with Khan. Everything stops. Together, they rescue Roan from the execution, and only these books could turn a reunion into a near-death experience.
And because these two have never communicated normally a day in their lives, the second they're saved, Rave puts a knife to Khan's throat. Khan completely unfazed.
Of course.
Their reunion immediately turns into an argument over who's been more reckless. Pyrock literally has to yell at them to stop flirting through death threats. Meanwhile, the Tri-Council decides the best way to handle mass panic over falling moons is attacking their own citizens. Excellent leadership. While escaping, Rave casually walks through magical runes that should have killed her and discovers the Book of Voyd, the source of every rune ever written. Naturally, she says, we're gonna steal that. Roan uses Khan's dragon blood to blast a hole through the Citadel wall. The group barely escapes, and Khan collapses from blood loss, and they're immediately chased through the city by soldiers and dragons. When iron pins meant for Rave fly toward her, Khan throws himself in front of them. Again, sir, self-sacrifice is becoming a personality trait. Thankfully, Raigun arrives, absolutely demolishes the enemy dragons, and the group escapes by dragonback after Khan burns an entire courtyard to the ground. Congratulations! They're fugitives. War has officially begun.
While Khan and company flee Bothame, Vea continues having the worst week in fantasy history. Baron carries her north, but he's badly injured and begins falling from the sky. He uses the last of his strength to throw Vea into the snow, saving her before he flies to a distant moon, curls up, and turns to stone. Excuse me while I sob. Ugh. Meanwhile, Khan and Rave arrive in the hidden mountain village of Belen, where Chiefess Sahara offers them shelter despite Khan now being a wanted fugitive. We learn this is his mother's former town, and these people are very dear to him.
Then we finally get Rave and Khan alone. They're both injured, both exhausted, and still somehow more concerned about each other than themselves. Rave cleans Khan's wounds and tells him she'll destroy anyone who tries to take him from her. They finally kiss, and we get one quiet moment together until one of Rave's returning memories sends her into a panic and she realizes she's holding a knife to Khan's throat again. Khan knows her memories are returning, but when Rave refuses to explain, he doesn't force her. He simply holds her while wondering what Elowen was trying so desperately to protect him from. Meanwhile, Kaisari is still trapped in her cell, but she's officially done waiting to be rescued. She finds a piece of bone in her food and begins filing it into lockpicks. Honestly, prison crafting queen.
Then Rave discovers that Leary is alive and absolutely furious with her. The dragon immediately tries to roast her. Raigun has to intervene, and Khan explains that Leary feels abandoned after Rave helped save her and then disappeared. Instead of forcing the bond, Rave decides Leary should be free to choose her, which is probably the healthiest decision anyone has made in this entire book. Unfortunately, choosing Rave requires climbing the enormous stone pillar Leary built as a roost. Then Arkin enters the political nightmare. The Tri-Council wants Tyroth and Caddoc to kill Khan in exchange for control of the Northern Mines. Arkin proposes a better deal. Let him murder Khan publicly in the fighting pits, and they recognize him as king. Because apparently everyone in this world has seen Khan and thought, how can I make this man's life worse?
Rave reaches the top of Leary's pillar and finds her asleep. Instead of trying to tame her, Rave climbs onto her back and removes the saddle that's been binding her. She tells Leary she's free and promptly falls off the mountain. Bold strategy. Rave manages to slow herself with the wind, but Leary still swoops down and catches her before she hits the peaks. After some painful bonding, their heartbeats fall into rhythm and their bond is complete. It's beautiful, but the connection also awakens an unbearable grief inside Rave. Leary seems to settle into a place in her soul that once belonged to someone else. So Rave does what she always does when something hurts too much. She cuts the feeling away.
Which means when Rave finally returns to Khan, she's acting completely feral. She and Leary kill a giant bar, and Rave brings Khan a slab of raw meat like a proud cat dropping a dead mouse on a porch. Then she tries to seduce him without having an actual conversation. Khan somehow is the voice of reason, and he refuses to let her hide inside the dragon bond and tells her he needs Rave, the person, not just the instinct and hunger. Rave finally says she isn't leaving. She chooses Leary and she chooses Khan. And she makes it extremely clear that Khan belongs to her. No objections from him or us as a reader. With that waterfall scene.
For a little while, these two actually get to be happy. Khan explains the Ulu tradition where a man wears a woman's braid to show he's been claimed. Rave immediately claims him, and it's adorable, but not for long. Vea is stranded in the frozen wilderness, cuts infected stone out of her own shoulder, cauterizes the wound herself, and barely survives another monster attack because apparently this woman is incapable of catching a break. At the same time, Sareem starts torturing Rave through their bloodbind and sends one final assignment: track down a silver-haired fae destined to destroy the Flourish. Rave refuses until Sareem makes refusing impossible. Knowing she can't keep living like this, Rave decides she'll complete one last mission: free herself from Sareem forever and dive into her own subconscious to recover the lost language of Boulder. Inside her frozen mind, she discovers every piece of that language is hidden inside memories belonging to her other. So naturally, she reaches for the first one, and you just know nothing good is about to come from that.
The memories Rave uncovers explain a lot of things she would really rather not know. Back in the present, Roan reveals the Book of Voyd is basically magical calculus. The runes constantly shift, no one fully understands them, and the Tri-Council has secretly been collecting them for war. Then two massive leads appear at once. There's a young rune prodigy named Avi somewhere in Bogoth, and a moon shard hidden beside a deadly dragon nest. Khan's response? We're getting both. Unfortunately, Rave is barely holding herself together. Sareem keeps torturing her through the bloodbind, but Rave refuses to tell anyone. Khan notices she's exhausted, barely eating, and clearly hiding something. Meanwhile, Grimm heads off on what is essentially a suicide mission to find the great silver saber scythe. Before leaving, he literally carves his name onto the wall of people who never came back. I don't love that level of foreshadowing. Then we check in on Vea, who has somehow been captured again. This time by Arkin.
Meanwhile, Khan, Rave, Roan, and Pyrock arrive in Bogath, where Rave is slowly unraveling. Then one morning, Rave's eyes turn completely black. That's never a good sign. The other has officially clocked in. She walks straight into the marsh, casually raises a stone path across the water, finds the moon shard behind a dead dragon egg, and gives up part of her own magic to save it. Even the grieving mother dragon recognizes the sacrifice and lets her leave. Then Khan asks the question we've all been asking: what are you? The other simply says, "You already know." She tells Khan Rave loves him more than he realizes, but she isn't ready to remember why. And Khan is shook. Why, hello, Slatra.
Meanwhile, Vea discovers the prisoner in the next cell is Kazari. The two of them compare trauma like it's an Olympic sport. Kazari opens up about everything her father put her through, admits she's in love with Salus. Then we cut back to Rave, who wakes up to find Khan and the others already gone. He leaves her a sweet note. Rave immediately ignores it and heads off to complete Sareem's assassination mission, which turns out to be a trap. She fights through an entire fortress, leaves one terrified guard alive with the message, "If Khan gets hurt, I'll level your citadel." Iconic. Then she reaches her target and freezes because she wasn't sent to kill a general, she was sent to kill a little boy. Avi, the exact rune prodigy Khan has been searching for. Before anyone can process that, the dragon egg beside him starts hatching. Avi protects it, Rave straps the baby dragon to her chest, throws Avi onto her back, and the two make a run for it. But just before they escape, Avi delivers the worst possible news. The soldiers Rave fought, they weren't the real trap. The Tri-Council's army is already waiting for Khan.
So he and Pyrock walk straight into the Tri-Council's trap, where magical spikes shut down their powers, stone pillars erupt from the ground, and they're both hanging in nets before they know what happened. Thankfully, Rave comes crashing in like the world's angriest rescue mission. She cuts through soldiers, muffles the sound of battle, and when she realizes over 100 more enemies are closing in, she just turns the battlefield into a swamp. Entire army gone. Casual. Power. What? After escaping, Rave finally admits the truth. Sareem has bound her by blood and ordered her to kill Avi. Khan's reaction? Not anger, just who's responsible? Relationship goals? Like, maybe? What? Thankfully, Avi reveals he can break the bloodbind. Tiny catch. They have to return to the exact cave where Rave made the bargain in the first place, because healing in fantasy is never convenient.
Meanwhile, Arkin somehow manages to become even more horrifying. He discovers Elwyn's hidden diary, nearly beats Kaisari to death, leaves Vea completely broken after more torture, and casually admits he's keeping them both alive because he still needs the Ether Stone. Can someone please kill this man already? While Khan, Rave, Avi, and Pyrock head toward Gore, they discover that the city has become a ghost town. At the Curly Quill, Rave secretly finds another message from Sareem before sending Pyrock into her old home with one very simple instruction: do not go upstairs. Naturally, he goes upstairs. Immediately, he gets tackled by a woman with a knife to his throat, who turns out to be Essie. The second Pyrock tells her Rave survived, she faints. Honestly, that's how we felt about you being alive, girl. While Pyrock stays behind with Essie and baby Gruffin, Rave, Khan, and Avi continue toward the cave.
Then we finally reach the cave where everything started. Avi warns that breaking the bloodbind will force Ray's body back to the condition it was in before she made the deal, meaning almost dead. Great. The ritual begins. Somehow it works. The bloodbind is finally gone, and I celebrated for about 4 seconds. Because then Sareem steps out of the shadows, because of course she does. She admits every bit of the pain she inflicted on Ray was designed to lure Khan here, using his niece as leverage, strip away his magic with a potion, and takes him prisoner. Graham finally reaches the silver dragon, expecting to die. Instead, she chooses him. The bond forms, giving Grim hope for the first time in forever. Then we cut back to Rave, who wakes in a prison cell believing Fallon is beside her. But something inside her has changed. A silver light spreads through her soul, and for the first time since the series began, Rave feels whole, which means naturally everything is about to get so much worse.
We pick back up in Arkin's prison, where Rave has officially been through enough for about 6 lifetimes. She wakes after another fight in the pits, only to remember that Fallon is dead. But this time she remembers the truth. Fallon didn't die peacefully in the snow like Rave convinced herself. She died alone, in a prison cell. That realization absolutely shattered me. Then Rave realizes the person she's been holding isn't Fallon at all. It's Kazari. barely alive. Faye is locked in the next cell looking completely broken, and before either of them can explain what's happened, the guards storm in. Rave immediately throws Khan's Malmer around Kazari's neck, shields her with her own body, fights off as many guards as she can, and still gets knocked unconscious. Then Arkin invites everyone to what might be the most unhinged family dinner ever. Khan's chained, Rave's chained, and Arkin casually announces, "I'm your brother." Sir? As if that wasn't enough, we also learn he's the Elding, meaning the Flourish, the place Rave believed was her safe haven, was his operation the whole time. Trust issues unlocked.
And somehow, still, Arkin gets even worse. He burns Rave's Ulu, tells her she belongs to him, reveals Avi is being forced to build magical rooms for his army, and announces his plans to steal Khan's throne and Rave. Then he pulls out Eluan's diary. Finally, Khan and Rave learn the truth. Eluan loved Khan. Kaisari was Khan's daughter all along, and Khan's father forced Eluan to lie, convincing Tyroth that the baby was his to protect Khan. Then Arkin delivers the cruelest reveal yet. Khan and Rave's daughter is alive, locked in a cell, and dying because of him. When Arkin begins torturing Khan, Rave offers herself back to the fighting pits if he'll spare him. He agrees. But in that moment, Rave finally stops running from Valen's death. She lets herself grieve and unlocks a part of her she had buried for years. Meanwhile, Sareem learns she's no longer useful to Arkin, gets thrown out into the snow, and his elding bird, Clear, erupts out of the mountain behind her. Honestly, couldn't have happened to a nicer person.
While Pyrock is off being the hero of his own side quest, saving Essie, surviving a molten maw, and somehow getting healed by drinking her blood. Hopefully we come back to that later. Meanwhile, Arkin is finally ready for the grand finale. He throws Rave into the arena dressed in silver armor while the crowd chants, "Fire, Lark, fire, Lark." Then he stabs Khan through the lung, patches him up just enough to survive, and gives him one impossible choice. Fight, entertain the crowd, let Rave kill you. Otherwise, Kazari and Vea die. Ugh. I know. Whew. Arkin gives the signal. Slotcher takes over. She raises both swords to Khan's throat and at the very last second gives Rave control back. Instead of killing him, Rave drops her weapons, kisses Khan, tells him she loves him, and they finally stop apologizing for everything that's happened between them. Then the mountain shakes. Khan realizes the potion suppressing his magic is wearing off, and Rave basically says, "Hang on tight, baby." She calls on Ignos and Boulder, tears the arena apart, floods it with magma, brings Arkin's balcony crashing down, and Raigan literally bursts through the ceiling to join the fight. Rave doesn't stop until there's basically no arena left. Meanwhile, Uno leads Vea and Kazari to safety just as the first moon finally falls from the sky. Kazari wakes, rips at the diadem, and the god of Ether himself appears to heal her. Excuse me? Then Khan realizes Arkin survived, because sure. He tells Rave she has a choice. Chase Arkin or find Kazari. Without hesitation, Rave chooses her daughter.
While she races back through the collapsing prison, freeing prisoners along the way, Khan and Raigan take off after Arkin. The chase is absolutely brutal. The Elding Bird tears into Raigan. Khan is stabbed again, and the three of them crash out of the sky. Khan finally pins Arkin in the snow and kills him, listing every horrific thing Arkin did to their family before taking his head. It's not triumphant, it's just heartbreaking. Meanwhile, Rave emerges into complete chaos as moons crash across the world. Lyri carries her to the summit, where she finds Kazari standing with Salus as the power between them literally pulls the moons from the sky. Rave fights through the magic, saves Vea from falling off the mountain, and finally reaches Kazari. She apologizes for not coming sooner, and Kazari collapses into her arms. I don't think there was a dry eye left by this point. Then, after everything, Khan finds Raigan dying. He begs the gods for help. Nothing. Raigan breaks their bond, curls around Khan one last time while Khan sings to him, and I was emotionally unavailable for the rest of the book. Thankfully, Rave finds Khan, Kazari, and Abi safe before Slotcher calls her into her inner world. There she finally witnesses Kazari's birth and learns the truth. Eluan loved Khan. Tyroth murdered her after discovering Khan was the father. He stole baby Kazari and used her as a shield against Slatra. Unable to save them both, Slatra poured the silver essence of her own soul into Eluan, hoping mother and daughter would one day find each other again before rising into the sky and becoming the moon. But the book isn't over yet. Sareem takes a piece of Arkin's flesh and puts it in her vial before setting his remains on fire. Ominous. And then Hadian Navan walks out of the flames. alive. And that's where this book has the audacity to end.
Audacity.
Whew.
How dare.
Sorry, that was a long one, guys, but there was no way to make it shorter.
Also, long
It's a
book.
thick book.
It's a long book, and it's a very jumpy long book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I somehow have more questions now than I did at the start of the book.
Same. We got huge answers and somehow even bigger mysteries.
So naturally, it's time to overanalyze everything. Welcome to Threads of Theory.
Yeah.
Finally. Woof. Oh, I mean, I guess we got to start with the prologue, right?
Yeah.
Yay.
An interesting one for sure.
It is interesting. They say that the gods know that Khan could tear the world to shreds with his words and his love for Rave. Like they know that their end is coming for what they have done. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They also know that they were wrong for tearing Salus to shreds. And all of it is because of the reasons of love. So I still feel like I think we theorized this last for When the Moon Hatched that we're going to see the gods in more corporeal forms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, because we've gotten a glimpse.
Yeah, of Salus. Yes.
Yeah. With Kaisari, which is interesting and unexpected for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I feel like the whole book is kind of about the difference between love and possession in some way, shape, or form. And it feels like love is the catalyst for literally every major event in the series. So I wonder if Sarah is establishing the idea that like love itself is the oldest and most powerful magic there is.
Right.
Aww.
I love
Like
that. I love
something
that.
really beautiful, you know, like, and the creators didn't cause the catastrophe because of love. They caused it because they tried to control love.
Right.
I like that perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. I also feel like there's a huge theme throughout this series so far of like redemption, healing, forgiveness, all of those things. So I am curious if Salus is going to forgive what's happened to him. You know what I mean? Like, can we kill a god? Doesn't seem likely. So how are they going to reconcile with Salus after tearing him apart?
Yeah. Well, maybe love somehow.
Maybe love.
You know, I don't know. That sounds so kitschy, but it feels like there's so much possession stuff and control stuff as being the thing they're fighting against. And love is the only thing that's really provided anything wonderful. Like even Kazari's love for the god and how he saved her and appeared in all these things. The way that
Even
the book was used with blood and even knee.
Yeah.
Ugh, my heart.
I need you.
Wait, at the end of the book, she was knee was put back together, right?
But she wasn't working.
But she
I know. We'll get there.
okay.
So chapter 1, I just have to say, in When the Moon Hatched, our episode, we talked for like 20 minutes about this stupid jar of mist. And we kept being like, this has to be a small detail that like no one else cares about but us. And I just love that in chapter 1.
Fixated on it.
Yes.
Yes, we fixated on it so hard.
Absolutely
and
not.
Chapter 1, it actually was a thing. He literally got out his jar of mist and it ended up being Borg. And I texted you guys immediately and was like, the jar of mist is a thing.
We were right.
Yes. We were right. We did not guess it was a pet waif, but we were right.
I mean, it's hilarious.
I think it's also so funny that the whole time Borg was like pissed about his jar that he was in. And he's just like, well, I am deserving of a much prettier jar. Like, oh, it's so good.
I love him. He's so weird.
He's a vessel elitist.
He's so weird.
I love it. And it's interesting because it made me a vessel elitist. It's interesting because for me it was like he was consuming these memories, right? But is there a world where, because clearly memories are being used in some way, shape, or form to manipulate or control or preserve or save, like whatever it is, healing, survival, whatever it is. I wonder if there's a way that this isn't just him consuming the memories, but also preserving them, because we don't really know what the next book will bring. It kind of made me think he's also like a keeper of the mist, like a keeper of the memories, you know?
Yes. I also really love that she introduced this because at the same time, Rave is also getting her memories back throughout the book. So it almost feels like she's not going through reliving her past alone, even though they're not talking about it. Like we as the reader are seeing this like beautiful parallel between them of living their past and facing these memories together
Mhm.
weirdly, even though they don't
Yeah.
Mhm.
realize they're doing it together.
Yeah.
It's kind of a really cool literary device. I was very into it.
Yeah.
I
I think so
completely
too.
agree.
It's also because memory is treated obviously like a form of currency throughout the series too. It's like the cost of knowledge in this series is always some kind of like personal sacrifice, like Rave
Mhm.
recovering her
Mhm.
lost memories, Tyroth manipulating memories, Slatra protecting them until the right time, Elowen hiding the truth for like this personal sacrifice of like the greater good or like believing that the right time will come and everything will fall together. So it kind of does tie in everyone sort of experiencing things at different times because it does all happen in like magical divine timing that it just works out the way that it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. They approach their memories so differently, and it says so much about like their characters and who they are as people. Like
Yeah.
Khan is willingly offering up these painful memories to relive
Yeah.
over and over again,
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
Rave is kind of like, I accidentally touched this boulder and I guess I have to deal with it now. God damn it.
Yeah. Listen, I firmly believe that Khan is a Cancer.
He is like the
I think he's a
best,
Cancer.
most evolved book boyfriend of all time.
I agree. But this is also so great because so much of life in general and our lessons as human beings and our process of learning and growing, this happens to us in real life. Like
Right.
we can block out memories that are traumatic because we need to survive. We do move forward forgetting things that were painful because we needed to in that moment. And they do come back at the most inopportune times, but usually the time where you're faced with this choice of like, either I stay the same or I grow and evolve and become more of who I'm supposed to be, or I'll stay exactly where I am in the safety of this like protective thing I have under my icy lake or whatever. So it is such a beautiful, honest reflection of humanity as well.
Yeah, no, I completely
Well,
agree. And also to your point about like memories resurfacing, Nee is with Kaisari then, and she
Yeah.
notices that the handwriting is the same as what is on the cell wall.
just crazy.
Do which is so wild. And again, it's
Yeah.
like reiterating what you were saying about like memories resurfacing and like things coming back around. I mean, Nee has now lived through like multiple versions of life, right? Because now she's had Elowen, she's had Rave, and now
No.
she has Kaisari. Oh,
Yeah.
do we think that we will actually see them work this out together in the next book?
I think so. Like, I think
Yeah.
she has to realize her mom shared the same cell before she did. I mean, she already like realizes it here, but I think there has to be a conversation of healing of like we went through
Yes.
the same thing and this is how, even though I didn't get to see you grow up, they have to like have some point of how do we connect, right?
Yeah.
And like
Mhm.
start an emotional journey together. And I think sadly, very sadly,
It's
this is something that
trauma.
they can bond over. Yes, they
Yeah.
can
It's trauma
bond over.
bonding. Hmm.
I mean, because Sarah really hits the point home towards the end of the book that Rave is just like, we missed it all. Me and Khan missed it all. We didn't get to see Kazari grow up. And it's like, how do you reconcile and become close with your child who you love and you missed grow up?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, shared trauma is a way to do that.
It is. Yeah. And also
Yeah.
so is love. And I think
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Like they both had things taken from them and I think
Mhm.
they will find each other through it. And also we don't know like what's coming next. I think there's also moments where Kazari is going to really be here for the god and like what does that mean and who's going to support
Right.
her in that and who's not going to support her in that? What about the stone? Like what about the all of these things? Because now also Rave is blood bound to the book, and the book
Right.
is kind of
Is
like Salus.
But the
Yeah.
book is owned by Sareem. Sareem has the book at the end of this book.
She has yes, but the book
Yeah.
itself was created by Salus, no? Or that's at least what
Yes.
I'm putting together.
That's what they think.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And also, like, does that mean that Avi might be, I don't know, like related? I don't
Oh, we are so gonna
know.
get into that
Okay,
later.
okay, 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 great. Okay, great. We must. We must. All
Yeah.
right.
Speaking of books, though, so at the very end of book one, we get Vera in Tyroth's castle fortress situation, right? But in this
Mhm.
book, we get the perspective of Vea, and she has a really interesting conversation with the maid that she had impersonated while she was on that little endeavor to retrieve the journals. And she finds out that obviously the maid is pregnant with Tyroth's child, but she encourages her to leave, but she says that she can't. So, do we think that this maid is going to have a role in the next book? Do we think that this like side character, I mean, obviously she was in book 1, now she's in book 2, so like that's got to be a thread that we pull on for book 3, right?
This is so
Totally.
pointed to me. And so later on in the book, Tyroth says that he has an heir, but he knows that Kazari is not his daughter. And I
Yeah,
think this is what he means actually when he
I
says he
agree.
has an heir. I
I
don't think
agree.
he consider Kazari his heir at all,
I don't think so either.
especially
I
after the
don't
way
think
he
so either.
treats her.
Yes, and
No.
after the DNA test and then killing,
Yeah.
so I agree. I also feel like this brings up a different point, sort of like love as this overarching theme of and being magical or whatever. I also think there's this theme of legacy that seems to be just as important as like lineage and blood and all of that stuff. So
Mhm.
I feel like between all of these characters, the legacy that they leave is beyond lineage. And so it's interesting because it also gives an opportunity for Tyroth's child to leave a different legacy. I don't know.
I don't think his
So
child is going to
now
rule anything. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't
No, but
think
I
his
think
legacy is going anywhere by the
yeah.
end of the
But
series.
the maid, I'm sorry. The maid, we're going to see more of the maid. We must.
Yeah, I think it was pointed that she was in this again, not just this random person Vea came across. It kind of feels like the jar of mist, where it was like, oh, this
yeah.
is a small detail that actually is very
Yeah,
important.
and why do we think that she can't leave? Because she
I'm
was
gonna guess
urged to leave.
a blood bind or some kind of deal that she's made with him.
Yeah, like magic of some
Yeah,
kind.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he
that's what I
clearly
100%.
was going
uses
to.
magic to manipulate for sure.
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah,
yes, he's a horrible, horrible person. I can't wait for him to die.
yeah.
I also kind of
Horrible
feel like
death.
because what we know about him, he does not like women. So
No.
I'm wondering if by the end of this book, she's clearly already had the baby because how can he be so sure that it's going to be an heir if it's
Oh,
a girl? So it has to be a boy.
no, so women inherit in this world, though. Even though he doesn't like women, it doesn't mean legally they don't inherit.
Oh, see, I kind of took it as like he wasn't wanting women at all.
Well, yes, because he's an asshole, but it doesn't mean
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
worlds work this way. So if you
yeah,
look at Elwyn and her family before they died, she was the heir as the eldest daughter, not her brother, even though he was a boy. So,
yeah.
like in this world, as long as you're the firstborn, you're the heir, whether you're a boy or girl.
And he's going to manipulate them regardless of their gender.
Yes, 100%. I think he just hates women. I don't think it has anything to do with like a matriarchal or patriarchal society because it seems like that doesn't actually matter in their societies.
Yeah.
He just is an asshole. Yeah, he's the worst. Just thinks women are weak.
Well,
Or
and
he thinks
so
they're
do a
easy
lot
to
of men.
manipulate. So in chapter 6, Ray finally starts getting some of her memories back. And I just want to like talk about the pace of this throughout the book in general. So this is the memory of her meeting Slotcher for the first time when she's in the other's den. How do we
Hmm.
feel about this pacing? Because I felt like on my reread of doing the outline, I felt better about it. But on my initial read, I kept feeling like it was a little slow for me because, book 1, I mean, how many times did we say on our episode that, like, oh my God, can Rave just like get it together and like
Uh-huh.
confront anything? And then I felt
Uh-huh.
like it took so long for her to confront anything in book 2 still for
Yeah.
me.
It didn't bother me as much
Yeah,
at
Yeah.
all.
it didn't bother me too much either because I mean, it feels like the slower pace is frustrating for a reader because we already understand these things and we just like want her to catch up. But emotionally, I guess the pacing makes sense because her mind buried these memories to keep her functioning. So like they don't return chronologically, they return when something in the present emotionally or physically triggers them. Like it is exactly how it kind of happens in real life too. So like it makes remembering feel dangerous rather than like automatically healing. And I think that gets annoying when we want her to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like all through book 1, it was just like, oh my God, can she handle anything? Can she confront
Yeah.
anything? I think by the end of book 1, we were all sitting here kind of just being like, I'm so frustrated by this character.
Yeah.
And so I think when I went into book 2, because at the end of book 1, it seemed like she was really going to confront things. So
Yeah.
going through book 2 and still being like, oh, she's still not really confronting things. Like it's kind of forced on her still. Felt a little
Yeah.
frustrating for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because first off, every new memory gives her information, but it also destabilizes her and forces her to relive this trauma. And like Slatra's controlling which memories she can access and like
Right.
even rearranges like the den to make it like work for them. So it feels
Yeah.
sometimes like she's protecting Rave, but also like maybe she's controlling it or both. Like, is she withholding because Rave isn't truly ready or because Slatra isn't ready? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or a combination of the two.
And then when we get to the end of the book and Rave, it's all spit in her face, she literally has the thought of like, oh my God, what have I been doing running to all this? I've been such a horrible mom and horrible person for running from all
Yeah.
of this. So it's also kind of like, that's what we've all been saying. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it just
But
felt a little frustrating
yes,
for
but it's
me to.
hard, but it's hard. It is frustrating, but like, her central conflict is she wants to know who she was, but she's
But
terrified
she
that
doesn't.
remembering that will destroy who she's become. I think she does. I think
Yeah.
she kind of does deep down. That's why she has an icy lake, and that's why she keeps an icy lake. She's keeping it
Right.
separate from her, like,
Yeah.
every day, you know what I mean? There's, like, a thing in therapy too, right? There's, like, a whole process for a lot of people who wanna remember things that are traumatic. There's, like, a whole way in which you go through this, like, with your doctors or whatever. It just feels like, I don't know, does her healing require recovering every memory, or could becoming whole mean accepting that some parts of the past can stay in the past? Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I think for me, it was more that she had to feel a little bit more safe and secure in order to start confronting those types of things. So, like
Yeah,
coming off of the heels of book one, I feel like she was feeling more safe and more secure. So she was able to like kind of confront some of those things.
totally.
But I also think that it's Slatra that's controlling the flow of those. And it's also hard to confront the like eggs of memory when
Yeah.
you're having to battle through that and feeling like you're
Mhm.
trapped and literally and
Yeah.
metaphorically don't want to
Yeah.
lose yourself under
Exactly.
the icy lake. So I
Totally.
don't know. I think because it was like a multifaceted thing, it didn't bother me in terms of pacing. Whereas like Jerry Bound
Yeah.
infuriated me on her development and
We're
growth.
all bound to fury.
I think just like sitting here thinking about it, I think the reason why it maybe bothered me just as a reader, even though I can like obviously rationalize that that is like the correct way for someone to heal and that like it is a slow process and all those
Yeah.
things, but you're reading a book. You're not
Yeah, the
actually
book is
living this
long.
experience
The
this,
book is
right?
long.
And
Yeah.
I think the part of the issue I saw with it is that when she gained all these new memories, we also didn't learn anything new as a reader, which was a
We
little
learned Boulder's
frustrating.
language.
No, she learned Boulder's language. Her first
Oh,
memory about no,
okay.
that's what I mean, is like her first
Yeah.
memory about her meeting Slotcha for the first time, we actually got in book 1 in a journal entry. That's what I mean is like as a
Oh, I see
reader,
what you're saying.
her
Yeah.
Yeah.
her
Mhm.
new memory she
Mhm.
gained, we as a reader didn't gain anything new when she got
Yeah.
her new memory. And I feel like if she'd added more details that we didn't get the first time from the journal entries, I would have been a little more excited about them
Yeah.
just as like a reader. It just felt a
Yeah.
little like, well, I knew that already. All right, cool, let's move on.
Totally. Totally.
It's like
Got it.
I know I
Okay.
can rationalize that, healing takes a long time, that she confronted that at her own pace. I understand all of that. But as a reader, it felt just a little stale to me to be like, okay, well, that I feel like I just read the journal entry from book 1
Again, but
again,
but
but it
longer.
but
Yeah.
in her like POV. Could
Yeah.
we have gotten like a few more details? It's like spoiler for Fourth Wing. Rebecca Yarros goes back and does a POV from a different character's perspective of the same scene. It's like you learn new details that you didn't know
Yeah.
before.
Right, but you're familiar. Mhm.
Yeah, I wish it had been a little more like that because I feel like every memory we got was a little like, okay, like
Right.
I knew that all already.
Right. Right, right, right. Yeah.
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 I hear
Like a
you.
little bit more character development, less past reflection on book one.
Yeah, it felt like a lot of repeat for book 1 for me
That's
personally.
fair. That's
That
fair.
is
Yeah.
fair.
That's fair.
So we finally see Tyroth in the story from Vea's POV. And honestly, I also thought we were going to see more of him in this book. He sucks
Yeah.
hard.
Ay,
So,
ay,
I
ay.
think it was one of, like, our buds from the last book of, like, I can't wait to see more Caddock and Tyroth and, like, see more of these villains, and then we still didn't really get much of that in book 2. Not to go too much into, like, my thorns and stuff, but,
Yeah.
we do learn that he sucks so much that his own dragon abandons him and saves Vea.
Oh my goodness. And like
Like,
to his demise.
yes, and dies saving Vea. That's how much Tyroth sucks, is his bonded
I
dragon abandons him to save Vea.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
that
can't.
was a really like, I genuinely was just like, "Oh my god, is that happening? Is he saving her?
Mhm.
He's saving her!" And I was like, "Holy shit, he's saving her, that's crazy."
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think he was just like, "You know what? I've put up with so much shit. I'm gonna do one thing that I wanna do." And
Seriously.
Vea was able to continue in the book because otherwise she definitely
Yeah.
wasn't.
I mean, she
Yeah.
died like 12 times in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. But interestingly, also in this scene, apparently he can read minds. Is he a mind weft?
Is
We
he a
did
mind
not know
wef?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He unlocks Vea's memory.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all about how she is the one who actually killed Elowen's family. But here's the thing. I mean, obviously, she immediately blames herself. But when
Mhm.
you read the memory of what happened, her dad forced a mind weft to remove all feelings and form of thought from Vea's body. And then he forced Vea to go do this. Like, girl,
Yeah.
this is not your fault. Like,
No.
No.
you were a
Mm-mm.
vessel. You were a
Yeah,
vessel.
you were used. You were a tool
You were a
You were
tool.
a
Yeah.
victim just as
and a
much as they
victim. Yeah,
were.
absolutely.
It was a
Completely.
complete violation.
Yeah.
It I mean, and obviously, I think anyone in that instance would feel the type of guilt she feels, and obviously she blames herself, but I really hope that's part of book 3 and the journey of, like, her coming to realize that that's not her fault, and it's her
Yeah.
father's fault, and Tyroth and Caddock's fault, and, like, their whole horrible family just fucking sucks.
Yeah, I don't like it. It feels I mean, it makes me wonder is he hiding his full abilities from everyone? Because I still don't feel
Oh,
like we
yeah.
actually know what he's capable of, and that makes him even scarier than Arkin in a lot of ways because
Yeah.
it feels like
The
Tyroth
devil you
represents
know.
yeah, but he
Yes.
also represents weaponized truth. He doesn't
Yeah.
Right.
just lie. He decides what everyone else is allowed to remember, and it
Which
feels
is
like
scary.
that
Yeah.
is so dangerous. It's so dangerous, and also it feels like the most anti-Avi in a way, like, Avi uses memory and knowledge to heal, and Tyroth uses memory and knowledge to control, so, like, there's
Yeah.
that love and power, love and control thing again.
But
I
I
don't
also
know.
I was under the impression in this world that you had to be born into being a mind weft, but he makes it sound like he learned a new skill when
Yeah,
he's talking about it.
that's why I think it's something else, because reading thoughts is different from unlocking or altering memories.
I mean, but it also, I don't know, a mind weft, it sounds like can do those things though, because a mind weft is the one who does those things to Vea when she's forced
Oh,
to go
right,
kill them
right,
all.
right, right,
So
right.
I'm a little like, can you learn to be a mind weft? Or like, did he like discover something in the Book of Voyd because he's now super chummy with the Tri Council that they like
Right.
have like unlocked this thing for
Like a
him?
rune for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Um,
that's definitely my question. Like, how long has he been able to do this? Because if it's been forever, then he had to have known about Elowen and Khan forever ago.
I don't think it was forever because when Vea originally was forced to go kill them, if he was a mind weft back then, his father would have used him and not the like
Him
random
correct.
person in the castle
Yeah.
or whatever.
I think it's a
Yeah.
different thing. I think it's a way to alter truth and memory. I don't know that
I don't
it's
know.
Has to
I
be
don't
a
know.
rune that
I think it's from the Tri Council like gave him this power
Yeah, through the
because
book.
they're super
Yeah.
buddy buddy.
Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it too. Ugh, gross.
Let's move it
Ugh,
on.
we hate him.
We hate
I know.
him.
So then Rave wakes up to the mess that once was Wreck.
Yikes.
Yikes.
And she and Uhtred make their way to dispose of his body in Botham, which just so happens to be where Khan is off to rescue Pyrock's brother Roan. And this is where we start to see Rave really go for her power that she normally isn't very comfortable, like, harnessing,
Yeah.
unleashing, utilizing. So, I mean, on one hand, this is definitely, like, a sign of growth,
Yay,
right?
rave.
Yes. Yes.
She's feeling more comfortable. She's using the tools at her disposal. She calls on Rain to save them all from the Anthe, which is such a weird ass beast,
Yeah.
just as a side note. And Raven Con start their almost who can love and protect who more
Oh, yeah, yeah.
dance, which
Mhm,
is
Yeah.
very
mhm,
like back and forth, like, no, you
mhm.
stay there. No, you stay there. Like,
Yeah,
It's
while
adorable.
meanwhile they're both about to die. But neither one of
yeah.
them seem very concerned about that.
So
No.
interesting. This is a time where it's interesting because she constantly suppressed and avoided her magic, but here
Hmm.
she's sort of leaning in, and it feels like it's kind of going alongside her slow shift from surviving things and being a survivor to a protector. And it's like a very different mind shift, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it becomes kind of like, neither one, she or Khan, they never question each other's love. They just argue over like who gets to make the sacrifice, and that
It's
is how
so
they're
silly.
showing their love. You know what I
Yeah,
That
mean?
it's
is
so
It's
silly.
it's
so
but
spot
compared
on.
to like a lot of other romanticy couples whose conflict comes from mistrust,
Yeah.
Hmm.
they are partners almost immediately, even when they're on opposite sides of an argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, their
I do love
relationship
it.
isn't built on needing to be rescued. It's built on two incredibly capable people just continuing to choose each other. And so, I don't know. Do you think Rave is becoming more powerful because she's remembering who she was, or is it because she's just finally allowing herself to be who she's always been and to get out of survival mode? It's
Both.
like something just unlocked. Yeah,
Definitely
both.
both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But Khan does notice that her bloodlust isn't gone from killing Wreck, and his heart sinks. And
Yeah.
I think it's actually because he thinks that he stole her kill of his father from her
Yes.
and that she
Yes.
hasn't realized it yet. But we all know actually it's because she needs to kill Tyroth now.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
maybe one day Vea, if she finds out Vea's the one. But
But
it's
I don't
interesting.
know.
So when we get the whole Vea thing, the dad, their paw, says that, someone foretold that if Vea was not the one to kill them, then the world would end. So I think that's like a foreshadowing that Rave will forgive her.
I think so too.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
It's not her fault.
If anybody understands being used as a tool, especially after this book, it's Rave. She
A
was
Yeah.
100%.
literally manipulated into so many things in this, which obviously we'll
Yeah.
get into, but like
Yeah.
everything good that she thought she was doing ended up being a complete lie. And
Yeah.
so I think somebody who was literally memory wiped and manipulated into killing someone's family, yeah, she's going to be pissed, but I don't think she's going to blame her for it.
No.
Also, brother is alive, so what happened there?
Yeah.
We'll get to that eventually.
Yeah. I mean, but there's also that moment, obviously huge character growth. She chooses Kazari over revenge. So she literally
Yes.
leaves Arkin and
Yes.
Khan, her significant other, to
Yes.
save her daughter. So it suggests that her bloodlust doesn't actually have to end in death. She learns that
Agree.
choosing love over vengeance can actually satisfy the part of herself that was like previously driven by rage. So
Yeah.
I
I
wonder
totally
if
agree.
her bloodlust was actually about killing and just more about like a very heated need for justice. And
Filling the
because,
void,
yeah, those are
retribution.
two like very different things.
Like
Yeah.
Khan says, revenge is lonely. Like it doesn't end in
Yeah.
anything good. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the themes in the
Yeah.
story of like they think bloodlust can only end in death, but it can also end in forgiveness and
Yes.
different
And healing.
paths and
Hmm.
healing. And
Yeah.
I think we're going to see that with the whole Vea storyline. I think that's the whole point
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I agree. And right. Because if she didn't do that, then the world would end. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
there's
But
so many things.
also, that means if someone else had killed her parents, Rave is capable of destroying the entire world.
Yeah.
Yikes, which we've kind of seen in this book already. She is one powerful motherfucker.
She is, but we don't have any information about why if Thea wasn't the
Not
one to
yet.
do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is
Oh,
just like, are we 100% sure that Vea did do it? What if that was
I
just like a
mean,
mind
yeah.
weft thing making her believe that to manipulate her to feel bad for it? Like, what if she didn't, what if she actually wasn't even the
Uh,
one?
I don't feel
Yeah.
like that's true. I feel like that she did it. And yeah, because I mean, we all know from book one that like the bangle or whatever was hiding a memory and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I just feel like this, that it really happened.
Also,
I
they
don't know.
invested a little too much into it for me to think that it's like that far of a speculation. Like,
Right.
but hypothetically,
So
mm,
hypothetically, maybe the reason why it had to be her was because she was the only person who could do it and then be
That Rave would
redeemed
forgive.
because
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. 100%.
so then we bounce back over to Rave because the story does so much back and forth
Bouncing.
between the
Yeah.
storylines, which
Which
honestly keeps it kind of interesting.
does, but it's also a thorn for
It's a
me. We'll
little
get there
chaotic.
during the roses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's continue though.
It wasn't as good as Shield of Sparrows with the
The
layering
bouncing.
of the
Yes,
stories.
yes.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that they survived the ant and then Rave was able to find the Book of Voyd. Do we have any theories as to why she was able to find it?
I think it's because she has silver ribbon in her.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
I agree.
From being in the
Yeah.
moon?
Yeah,
Yes,
so and Slatra
from
gave her a
Slatra.
piece of silver ribbon, and we think that the
Yeah,
Book of Void is tied to Salus, and it's his book, and all the
yeah,
silver ribbons basically belong to him and are him. So that would be
yeah,
my guess on why she has all these like weird special abilities, even that seem like
yeah,
different from when she was Elwyn. Like she
yeah,
can
and
hear
she
Right.
the
also
And
yeah,
she can
yeah,
hear all the
mhm,
creators.
right in
in
the
places where
spaces
no one
where
else
you're not
can.
supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, and she also
She's
Um.
understands
connected.
things that people have never taught her before.
Yeah.
She's
So
plugged in.
she's
Yeah,
very plugged in, and I do think these are new powers than like Elwyn had.
I also really love that she had like a legally blonde moment to where she was like, "What? Like it's hard?
Oh
Like
yeah,
what
that
do
was
you
so
mean?"
funny.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
do love her sass so much. Like I love her one-liners so much in this book. Like that where
Yes.
you're just kind of like, "Oh, you're funny."
Yeah, her sassiness is very all of the comedic timing just was so good. But anyway,
Really
anyway.
good.
yeah. I agree with
So
you.
we randomly jump to Grimm here. And because his storyline is so spread out throughout the book and quite short, let's just talk about his whole storyline now. There's like 4 chapters of it, which is hilarious because I know I was texting you being like, Sarah Parker gave an interview that the most exciting part of the book for her to write was Grimm's story. And I can't wait to read it. And then it was like 4 chapters. And I was like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with
I
you.
also feel like it very easily could have been just like one little chunk. It could have been at like the last 3 quarters and it would have been perfectly fine altogether. There was no reason for it to be these like 2 or 3 page chapters that just were like, and now I'm in a cave. Bye. And
Yeah,
now I
it
found the
was
dragon.
weird.
Bye. Like it
It
was
was
just like,
so
what?
weird. Honestly, and this is really like a cut. I almost feel like you could cut his entire character and have given this journey to Pyrock and still had Pyrock's other journeys in this story and it would have all still been the same. Like, I don't even understand why this character is here. Like, I understand that the Silver Saber Scythe needs to bond to someone because they have an important like arc in the story. But Grimm has zero background.
It was at the end where he came in and like saved them. But like again,
Exactly.
all of the chapters could have been collected and moved to the very end. Anyway, this is just bordering on thorn territory. But
It was. But
so his
I
story.
agree. Like it was just a little like I don't care about Grimm. I also am confused why he out of all the people in this story is the one who's like special and bonding the Silver Saber Scythe when we know absolutely nothing about him.
Also, in book 1, didn't we basically like ship Vea and Grimm being together?
Yes, but they literally are not on the page once together in this entire book.
Not even remotely.
Not
Like at
even
all.
remotely.
So I guess basically in summary, he bonds a dragon and he lives. And so
And
he's
the
going to be a
end.
book 3. And
And
that's
the
it.
end.
Cut.
Like it's so random.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to her interview.
I kept coming back to her interview and just being like, what? Like, what? Like, please explain more, please.
Yeah, we definitely texted back and forth about that a lot because we're like, I don't see it.
I don't see it. I mean, maybe we're going to get this fabulous backstory on Grimm, but I feel like to wait for it for book 3 feels a really long time for a major character, to be honest.
Yeah.
We shall see. Because also, if it was her favorite story to write in this, then like
All 4
can't wait.
chapters.
Can't
All
wait.
4
Yeah,
chapters.
all 4 chapters. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. Well, they escape Botham on Rygon's back and immediately paint a target on their own, but they make it to the small village of Balloon. And his aunt is the chiefess there. And seeing Khan with Corey was just, oh my God. And he would have been such a good dad. And every moment
Ovaries.
they had a moment on the page together. Yes, my ovaries exploded.
Yep.
And even obviously Rave has the thought of Khan would have made such a good dad, not knowing she has a child with him. And you're just like,
but she was so triggered by it. She like ran off too.
Yes.
When he,
my God. But Khan and Rave get their first moment alone together. And yay, we get confessions of feelings and I'll kill anyone who hurts you, et cetera, et cetera. And the mini love fest before Rave starts, very unfortunately, getting her memories back, but not by going in her icy lake of having the time she had to sleep with Tyroth to fake Kizari's conception. Major yikes. And Khan realizes for the first time that Elwyn left him to save them both, not because she didn't love him.
Which also, my guy.
Yes. But he doesn't
Like,
push
what?
Rave. He doesn't push Rave to keep digging into these feelings because he
No.
knows she isn't ready.
Yeah,
And,
and-
he really is the best book boyfriend ever.
And also that's
He
the thing, like
is.
it's even displayed in the way that he cares for Corey too. It's like his greatest strength has never been his dragon, his magic, his lineage. It's his
Even though he has it.
capacity. Even though he has it, it's a yes and.
Yeah.
It's his capacity to nurture. And I think
heart.
Sarah
His
keeps showing
heart.
us that the qualities that make him a great king, a great boyfriend, a great ruler, all the things are the exact same qualities that would have made him an like incredible father. And then all of those things. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I cried.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Also,
Yeah.
again, he truly is. He's the best book boyfriend. Like he just really
He
is.
is.
Yeah. She doesn't have to explain anything. He doesn't demand more explanation. He doesn't need any details that she's not ready to share. And here's the big one. He doesn't make her comfort him while she's reliving her own trauma.
Yes.
Yeah. He also sets boundaries.
Yes, Ashley.
And I can appreciate that.
Yes. Absolutely.
All of
Woof.
the above.
Ugh.
The level of emotional maturity is very refreshing, especially in romantasy, because he lets her decide how and when she wants to remember. His love is never transactional. He also doesn't need all of the answers to believe her
No.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
a big
huge.
one.
He just believes her.
And he
I
sees
love,
her for her.
yes,
and loves
Yes.
her.
Yes, he's not
deeply.
projecting. He's not projecting, even though he knows more. Like he's really, truly just allowing her. And I also love that Sarah's letting him grieve quietly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think everything he thought about Elwyn leaving him was obviously wrong, but he doesn't make that revelation about himself. He focuses immediately shifting back to Rave, and he's the best.
I mean, let's literally continue the Khan
best.
love fest by
Yes.
getting to their first and only sex scene in the entire book when she bonds with Leary. They have their like whole thing and she becomes this like feral beast and he's
Yes.
all like, come back to me, my love.
Hello? Use your words.
Hello?
Use your
Yes,
words.
Use your words.
Don't speak to me in that tone of voice.
Yes.
Again,
and-
like I said, he knows how to set boundaries with her. And he's like,
He
you will
does.
be human, Rave. Loving
will.
ma'am.
boundaries.
you will be human.
You will be human.
I can't. I'm sorry. I don't understand. Say it again.
Yes. I do love too that he was even like, this is the biggest mistake I've ever made letting her do this because she was not emotionally ready to do this. And
I mean, oh my God, how many men can you count on your hands that wouldn't just like seize the opportunity?
I
You know?
mean
Good-
bonding with the
good.
dragon, not banging it
Oh.
out. But yes. I also love that he's like, no, I'm not just about to fuck you. We need to have a conversation first. Like,
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
excellent.
Because it's also such a stark contrast between every other controlling relationship in the series. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
everything else, like the binding, like Serene binding and
Yeah.
Arkin possessing and Tyroth controlling and all of those things. She gets freedom with him in a way. And like, God, who knew? A woman's right to choose anything.
Yes.
That was a fantastic summary of all of the men, by the way. Just
Yes,
one
it
word
really was.
clips, just boom, boom, boom.
Was it?
Nailed
Boom,
it.
boom.
Yes.
I was like, he's possessing?
Nailed it.
I mean, that's, yeah. And also the dragon bond too itself is built on trust, not ownership too.
Yes, which
Right.
I love that she like gives Leary that opportunity to be like, I need you to choose me again, even though I fucked up. Like,
Yes,
I'm
and
not just gonna
Which
when
hold
also,
Leary
him.
Leary already
Leary
had
yeah,
like massive issues
abuse.
before because so much abuse, and Rave had saved her from that situation with Wreck and then basically abandoned her. And I don't blame her for feeling
No.
abandoned. And so it was on Rave. And again, this goes back to like her emotional growth. She was like, I have to present myself to her. And if she kills me, she kills me. And
Yeah.
like,
And I deserve it. She thought that.
and I
She was like,
deserve it.
I
Yeah.
fucked up. Yeah. And I think we talked about it in our coverage of book 1. We were like, and why didn't she take Leary with her to go kill Wreck? Like, we
Yep.
were like, you
Yeah,
just
we were like,
rescued this
Why did you
wrong
leave your
dragon.
with you?
dragon?
Yeah.
Yep.
What's wrong with you?
Like, why are you leaving
told her
her?
that yeah, you cared. She laid on you. Like, what do you mean?
Oh, sweet
You
baby.
nursed her back to health, and then you were just like, "Bye, bitch.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
do
need
have to
you."
say, like, of
Yep.
course, Leary choosing to catch her is a real excellent moment that their bond forms. But one of my favorite funny things, I think we mentioned it in the summary, when she brings him like raw meat, like a
The
cat.
Oh,
slab
yeah.
of meat.
The slab of meat.
It's so funny to me because it's
Like a
so
cat.
like Mozart. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
she becomes almost too much dragon, and she's like, "Look what I got you."
Oh, yeah. She
My
loses
mate.
herself.
I will
It's
bring
so
him meat.
funny. It's so funny.
And
It's
he's
so funny
like,
to me.
Sustenance.
can I have
Yeah.
Rave back, please? And then we
Hello?
do
Yeah.
get like such a good sex scene. Like, oh my God,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
incredible. And thank God it's incredible because it's the only one in the entire fucking book.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
But it feels so
it's so
earned.
good.
And it's
It's very
hot, but
earned.
it's
It's
earned. And I
so
think
earned.
this is why, while it is a sex scene, it's also a really romantic scene. And
It
sometimes we
is.
don't get those things at the same time all the
And it
time.
means something.
And it means something. Like
Yeah.
they've spent 2 books choosing each other over and over again. So by the time they're like finally together, it feels like a payoff rather than
Yeah.
just chemistry.
Yeah, as a writing tool, I think it's a really brilliant choice too, because in book 2, it's like, okay, you guys have already had this relationship. How can we keep this like romantic and keep that storyline going forward? And this was a really good tool to do that because she lost herself again. And then she's like having to re-find herself and come back into her human form
Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
choosing Khan again. And that's
Yeah.
really cool. And it's beautiful and it's romantic and it's yearning and it's, ugh.
Yeah.
And
Hot.
as much as I complain about, like, it's the only sex scene in the book, I actually really almost appreciate it more because there are so many romantasy novels out there, fantasy novels, where it's just like, you guys are kind of like in the middle of the war. Should we be fucking right now?
Yeah,
Right,
And
exactly.
like in Metal Slinger.
It's like,
yes. In a lot of books, okay? A lot of books.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I kind of like that she was like, there's a time and a place, and I'm sorry, but for the rest of this book, there's no time and place, and that's fine.
But I also think that has a lot to do with the whole idea of choice in this novel. And also, she's being super intentional with the writing to reflect the whole idea of choice and relationships being a choice because they are constantly choosing each other despite the circumstances. They are making the choice to choose each other or choose to, like, you know, whatever their intention is in that moment. They're not like just saying, like, yeah, let's bang because
Yeah.
you're here and I can't keep my eyes off you. No, I feel these things. I want to be with you, but now's not the time because I'm being intentional. But it's reflected also in the dragon bonds too, because I think Sarah is making a statement again that love and dragon bonds both can't be forced. They have to be freely chosen over and over again by all parties.
Yep,
Right.
completely. You know who doesn't like choice?
Who?
Arkin.
Arkin.
That
And
possessive motherfucker.
that possessive motherfucker who is also manipulative as
Yeah.
hell. He
Yeah.
has the Tri-Council people at his little fight ring, which also is questionable. And basically, he mentions that he did not, in fact, lose Rave when she left.
Huh?
So,
Yeah.
do we think she left? Like, do we think he let her escape on purpose? Do we think he knew she was escaping? Do we think that was actually something? Or do we think that he was just like trying to save face and say that he did know?
Sadly,
I'm just
I
like,
do
oh,
think he let her escape.
I
I
think
do
so
too.
too,
I
because
do
he's so
too.
manipulative and has such a long game and he wants to smash Khan. And so it's just like, ugh.
And Sreem showed up literally in the same cape. And even Khan says it later in the book, like, how did someone who knows how to do a blood bind just like randomly come across you?
Boom.
Exactly.
In this
Exactly.
random ass cave.
Exactly. I
It was such a
think
good point.
he needed Rave to become who she was always meant to be, because if she had stayed in the Flourish, she never would have found Khan. She never would have reunited with Leary. She never would have recovered any of her memories. She never would have become powerful enough, and he needed the complete version of
I
her
mean, yes and
to
no.
bring her home with
I think
Khan, no?
no, I don't think he knew her and Khan were, like, in love. I don't think he's, like, that all-knowing.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think it's that.
I don't think it's
Mhm.
that. I think he did know that she was Eowyn, and I think that he knew she was tied to Tyroth, and he
I
wanted
see.
some kind of, like, political
He wants
control
Tyroth's
over
crown.
her. He wants Tyroth. He wants all
Yeah.
the crown.
Marry her, rule with
And I
her.
think all of the con stuff end up being icing on the cake because later in the book, he's like, "Oh my god, that just fell into my lap. The creators must be wanting me to do this."
Yeah.
Um,
Ick.
yeah, major ick.
And then that fucking motherfucker goes to Kaisari's cell and rips Nee while Nee is like trying to snuggle and stay safe right after Kazari said, "I'll protect you, I promise."
It's
I
pretty
just
bad.
the emotional
Devastating.
devastation that was tied to a piece of
A piece of paper.
paper
Uh-huh.
is
Yeah,
insane, and I'm just fully invested in Nee, and I was in the first book, and
me
I'm still
too.
in the
Same.
second book,
Me
and this
too.
was so sad and
Me
This was
too.
heartbreaking.
so
This
sad.
was so sad. And sure, she put her back together in the end, but
But she doesn't work in the
I
end. She still
want
doesn't
her to work.
flutter.
I can't. Maybe not
Maybe
yet. Maybe she
Avi
needs
can help.
love.
Maybe
Wait,
Avi
Yeah.
can help.
wait.
Maybe Salis.
Maybe, no, maybe as Rave and Kazari mend their relationship, Nee
It
mends.
mends.
Stop it.
Stop.
Oh,
Stop it. We have to move on before I cry. Okay.
oh
So
my.
Auntie's giving birth. Pirate comes
Yep.
in and they all play a game to distract themselves. And as a prize, one of them will be crowned a white wreath with red buds, which Khan
Okay.
says is an irreplaceable family heirloom that's been passed down through generations for so long they have no knowledge of where it came from or what it even is. And
Okay.
oh my God, this is the new jar of mist.
I was about to
Okay.
say, this is the new
Yes.
jar of mist.
It's the
Let's
new
go.
jar of mist. What is
Let's
this? It
go.
is such a weirdly specific
It is.
detail.
It is.
And
It
it's
is.
very detailed.
Big
Yeah.
detail to have
Yeah.
nothing at all supporting or surrounding it. I literally was like,
Yep.
oh my God, it's the new jar of mist. The new jar of mist. My whole body's tingling.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
obviously, I had to Google what a white wreath with red buds means.
Absolutely.
So, it is a heartfelt balance of peace, purity, and enduring love. In the language of flowers, the pure white blooms represent reverence and eternal peace, while the vibrant red buds embody deep affection, courage, and respect for the departed. This flower arrangement is used a lot at funerals, also representing Jesus Christ. So, what do we think it means
Interesting.
in the story?
I mean, from
Again,
what you
going back
just
to that
said,
love facet.
yeah, kind of what you said.
But it's a family heirloom.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because white makes me think of silver, purity, creation, Salus,
Yes.
perhaps.
I think it's a unity of something.
We also get a lot of tidbits, like very, very small tidbits that you have to really be paying attention. That Khan's mother's side of her family is like this ancient clan that has almost like secret information about Boulder and they're like extra powerful and like,
Yeah. Ancient.
that they're this little hidden village of like secrets and
That's like peaceful.
ancient family. There's
Yeah.
something special about basically the mom side of the family that we don't totally
Yeah.
know what it is yet.
Yeah.
And it has to do with being very strong in Boulder's language.
I think it's interesting to point out too, because this whole scene happens like during the birth,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So like the white
New
beginning.
life.
is brought
life.
out while new life is entering the world. And we have to also think about organized religion, right? So this is oftentimes used at funerals, you said.
Yes.
Now think about what funerals used to be a celebration of life, and then your
Right.
transition to the next life and what happens after that. So like it's a moment of renewal, of rebirth, of growth, of like, taking
Also, white
something.
is with like weddings too, and like
Absolutely.
bonds.
Absolutely. And also, so yeah, and red also could be blood, sacrifice, life, like giving life and taking life, rebirth, all of those things.
Yeah.
So what if it's
Which
like,
is very
yeah,
Mother Earth. Like I know
it
we
is.
give a
Yeah.
masculine energy to Boulder, but he is technically Earth, which normally is Mother Earth.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. I agree. I agree with
Ooh.
you. And Khan's mother, everything was green.
Yeah, she had,
Nurturing.
like, the greenhouse
Yeah.
and, like,
Mhm,
the giant
mhm,
gardens
mhm.
and stuff, and she was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
gentle soul. I don't
She
know
was a
how she ended
gentle
up with
soul.
his asshole of a pa.
Well, he says that his ma thought that she could change his paw, and that did not turn out well for her.
Ladies, you can never change him.
Can you remind me, did Salus think that he could change the other creators too?
That has not been part of the story.
Okay, no, I'm trying to find
Oh.
parallels to
Yeah.
Salus because it feels like related somehow. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
definitely the
it's
next jar of mist.
It's our
I
next
feel like
jar of
it's gotta be
mist.
like a unification, like somebody puts that on during a
Yeah.
wedding or something. Like, that's the
Something.
vibe
Well,
that I
it's
get.
definitely like giving coronation.
It is giving
It's
coronation.
giving coronation, it's giving blessing, it's giving ceremonial, full moon ceremony. At this point, Sareem, that bitch,
That bitch.
finally
That
figures
bitch.
out that Rave is alive and starts internally torturing her and sends a meathead, essentially, after her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rave says something about his voice seeming familiar and that it makes her skin crawl. Now that we know Arkin is the Elding, do we think that she remembers his voice from the pits?
Yeah.
Is that
It's
what we
gotta
Something
think?
be,
connection.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says she doesn't recognize his face and he has a memorable face, but I bet anything that she was like
Yeah.
unconscious being tortured and he was talking for some reason. And that's why she
Yeah.
remembers him.
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't think it's any tie with like Tyroth because
No.
he's tied to the Elding and not,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. So it has to be from the pit days.
Yeah, I think it's supposed
I
to be
think
our
so too.
first clue that it's going to later be revealed that Arkin is the Elding.
Well,
Absolutely.
in this
Yikes.
situation, she was just like, "Sorry, I'll just get out of here now."
But it is
Yeah,
interesting again that her body remembers. The body keeps the score.
it
And
Keeps
does.
the
she
score.
couldn't place it, but she was like, "Ooh, not right. I know this. I like this is not it."
Yep.
The definition of heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. Leary comes to her rescues and eats him because she's a really good dragon.
She's a good baby.
But Saharna interrupts this message and eating and whatever's going on.
Yes.
And we find out Zior, her husband, never told her where he was going when he disappeared. And I feel like
Mhm.
this is one of those details, once again, that feels oddly
Mhm.
important, even though there is
Yep.
nothing in the book surrounding it.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to see this guy again.
We
Yeah.
have to. There's no
We're
way he's
absolutely seeing this
dead.
guy again. No.
He went somewhere obviously very important that we don't have any idea why or what's happening.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where that goes. That's a bud for when we get to our roses section.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. He's definitely not dead. He's coming back.
No way. No
Does
body.
he return with
There was
answers
no body.
or problem? There's no body.
There's no body.
If nobody's dying on the page, dead, checked
Nope.
multiple times, they're alive.
And
They're
they
coming
talk
back.
about him too much for him to be dead.
Yeah, it's like Ryan cannot be dead either. Sorry.
Ugh.
We'll get there.
So after
Oh my
her
God.
combo with Saharna, Rave finally starts to come into her power and decides to learn Boulder's language. Whew, halfway
Yay.
through the book, but like not bad. But I
Yeah.
do wish it was like a little bit sooner. Come on.
Yeah.
And I do love that Slatra rearranges her den so Rave has to learn more to reach the info she wants. Like such a push from someone
Yeah.
to be like,
I get like the
I'm
whole
making you uncomfortable.
Slatra, like giving
Yeah.
her time and space, but like she clearly needs a push.
Yeah. And this is,
Yeah.
I'm going to make you so uncomfortable that you have to face it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Good job.
She's like, I know what you
She
want,
knew her
but you got to
timing.
look at these first.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's also this whole situation with like the nest of the memories. I feel like it gives like the R2D2 projection.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's what I thought.
Help me,
the whole
Obi-Wan
time.
Kenobi. You are my
Yeah.
only hope.
Anyway.
So Roan and Khan decide they need to find this prodigy child that Tyroth traded to the Triady Council. Okay, and here we go. This is like the biggest theory on Reddit, guys, that we're going into.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh, I know what this is.
This is very important that
This is what I
Tyroth
thought.
traded Avi to the Tri Council in exchange for their favor. So the theory online is that Avi is Kizari and Salus's love child.
Yes. That's what I immediately thought as well.
Yes, because he's very silver. He can read the book very easily. That's apparently Salus's book. He hears Salus's
Yeah.
song in his heart.
Song, the
His
runes.
parents are dead, but he has no idea who they are.
Yeah.
And
But
let's
wouldn't
discuss.
Kaisari have known if she was
So,
pregnant?
right, let's discuss the pros and cons of this theory because
Okay.
How? The
let's.
how.
So when you throw into the part that Tyroth can manipulate memories and he hates Kazari, his not daughter,
His not daughter.
wouldn't he
Yeah.
steal her child for his own gain and erase her memories? Because I think he would.
Absolutely. I think he would as well.
I think he would.
But then why would he give Avi away?
Because
Well,
he's
first
powerful
off,
and he
guys,
wants favor with the Tri-Council.
also, we're forgetting that Christianity is based on the idea of immaculate conception. So perhaps it's also an immaculate conception.
So this is where the theory gets murky because, okay, so it does seem plausible to me that Tyroth would take her child away and trade him away because it's not really his grandchild. What does he care? And he was a good bargaining chip.
Yeah.
And we know he can
Okay.
manipulate memories, so he wiped Kazari's memory, which is why it's not part of the story yet.
Yeah.
But how could it be Salus's child? So Kazari says after the Chancellor raped her, Salus did come to her for a little while. But I doubt that's what would happen between them during that time because I'm sorry, someone who just got raped by a Chancellor would not be like, ooh, let's jump into bed with someone else.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Unless the child is technically the Chancellor's, which is unfortunate. So that could be a possibility.
Could he also be like, he isn't the child of like two people, but he's like the child of a healed world? Like when Salus begins putting himself back together, he's like a puzzle piece. I don't know. That sounds weird.
I get kind of what you're saying. So like my thought is also to like say Salus did come out of the diadem after, because he seems to be able to appear to Kazari when she's in a lot of pain or when she's dying.
Right.
So after being raped, obviously that would be a time I feel like where
Yes.
he would be able to appear to her.
I agree.
And, maybe she was pregnant and because he's a god, he could have like done something to make this pregnancy a positive thing or like, you know what I mean? Like he has all this like powers. He's the god of Ether. He's the god of like the force essentially. So like could he have made it his child or blessed him with his silver ribbons in some way that makes him Kazari's and Salus's? Like maybe it was technically the Chancellor's child, but because he blessed him with silver ribbons, maybe it's really Kazari and Salus's child.
Yeah. I mean, look, I keep going back to Immaculate Conception too. It's like God said to Mary, like, listen, chick, I know you're 12 years old, but like your kid is going to die, but to save the world. So like, here's a child, you're pregnant. Like, obviously this child is saving the world.
The world.
In a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
So like, and a symbol of, why he's so uniquely tied to Salus's magic and all those things. So I feel like it could be so many different things, but clearly very intimately connected to Kazari and Salus.
Definitely.
I mean, to add potential merit to it being Kaisari's child is the fact that in book 1, it was said like, oh, it's not uncommon for Kaisari to run away or disappear or things like that. But maybe she wasn't actually running away. Maybe Tyroth was disappearing her or she was hiding or maybe she was pregnant. So she was like sequestered.
Yep.
Which would be my point and against of like, if she was pregnant, how would Khan not have known she was pregnant? And that's the answer.
Correct.
Right.
Well, and I think my only qualm with like the Immaculate Conception thing is like, I feel like I have a really hard time that an author would write that, though I
do
like
too.
the idea of it.
I do too.
So maybe that's the whole thing to where you're saying like, maybe it could be like he like tried to take away her pain or something like that. And so he has silver ribbons also.
Right. Yeah. I think technically because she tells this very specific story about when she was given to the Chancellor, that's when Salus appeared to her. And I feel like this book does everything on purpose, right?
Yeah.
So I think if there was a child, it would be technically the Chancellor's. Technically.
Could Salus have like taken the place of the Chancellor in that moment? In some way to make it whatever for her?
It doesn't sound like that's what happened.
I think the only way that would happen is if it were like the mind.
Yeah.
Not the body.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
that's what I'm
But I do
saying.
think
Yeah.
Salus could have blessed him with silver ribbons, which is why we think of him as Salus and Kazari's child versus Kazari and the Chancellor's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
child, and why Salus might even consider him his child, essentially. Is like, I blessed
Yeah, you're
him
right.
with these ribbons.
I think you're right. I think I would, now that we've said all these things, I would bet that his connection to Salus is like magical rather than biological for sure. He's the
Yeah.
child like transformed from pain and control and possession and all of the bad things, transformed by Salus's restoration, like chosen to wield this ancient magic, like
Right.
descended from this lineage, whatever.
Which Kazari also potentially has silver ribbon in her. So
Yeah.
Right.
So I think
being
it
born
represents
with
the
silver
future
ribbon.
of a
Yes.
healed world. Yeah. Like healed through pain because
Yes.
her experience obviously with the chancellor was horrific and terrible. And this was it's, you know, I think maybe Sarah's building towards the idea that Avi represents the future of the world, not like simply the child of two important characters. Like the
And he's such a
explanation
sweet, gentle
fits.
baby.
I also just
Yeah.
had like a moment where I realized in the next coming books, Rave, and if that is true, that means Rave and Kazari could bond over if they both lost their children and weren't able to raise them, which is so
Yeah.
sad.
Yes, and the dragons. And the dragons too. Yeah.
It's such a point of bonding though. Like,
Yeah.
Which also Slatra lost her
Mhm.
baby.
yes.
Also,
And
so
there was
that's
that
another
moment.
parallel to it
Yes.
too.
And there was a moment when Leary also was like, "You miss your family." Remember, she had that moment when she was
Yeah.
watching other. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
everything's connected.
do like this theory a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Do I
It's
feel
just the
like it could
how.
easily also be something else because this world is magical? Absolutely. You think it's very pointed that they say his parents aren't around or that they're dead
Absolutely.
or that they're missing. And I also think it's also very pointed that it is pointed out that Tyroth specifically is the one who traded Avi to the Tri Council. So
Right.
I feel like all of that is obviously connected. And I don't know, I just like the theory. So
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
that's
I
a good
think
one.
magical rather than biological for sure. And I think it's a metaphor. I think it's like rebirth. It's
yeah.
all the things. I love it. I actually do love it.
Yeah. So Khan and Pyrock are discussing Avi and like, oh, we need to go find him. And during this meeting, Rave comes in with raw meat, aka she's Slatra. And
Hello.
Khan really starts to figure out the whole other part of Rave.
Yeah.
I love that she calls him mate of her precious one.
Excuse
Yes.
It's so good.
me? Excuse me?
And he's like, excuse me? What did you just say?
I do love that Sarah doesn't make it feel like possession. It feels like
Protector.
Yeah.
protector, like the guard, like the gatekeeper,
Mhm.
literally.
Yep.
It's like two souls who are very different, but have a deep shared love, like learning how to coexist, I think.
Yeah.
And Khan tries to understand, not fix it. I just love that.
Yeah. So in this convo, they tell her about the moon shard that they found, thanks to Borg. And also in the next chapter, Vea confirms that we think the rest of Slatra's moon shards are in Arkin's throne because she wakes up in Arkin's territory and she sees the throne made of moon shards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we
Mhm.
know later that Rave destroys his mountain. And I'm curious, does that mean his moon shard throne is also destroyed? Because they kind of need those pieces.
I'm sure there's rubble.
Kind of feel like in the next book, there's going to be a convenience plot point where they're just like, oh, we found the shards or they're not dust.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because like she melts that mountain.
It's also kind of set up because somehow Arkin got out so clearly.
Right.
Not everything was completely destroyed. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was also like, how did he survive? Like what?
Right.
Yeah.
That also felt a little bit plot convenience there. They need the shards to put Slatra back together. So like that's like a big theme in this book though, that they say multiple times from different characters who can talk to Salus that putting Slatra
Yeah.
back together like
Is
means
key.
something. Like something's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, could she have just freed the moon shards
I don't think she
instead
knew
of like
they were
destroying them?
there. Like I don't think she was really thinking about it.
Yeah.
Or
She was
maybe
just, like,
Slatra took
angry.
over and like she snatched those up. I don't know.
No, I guarantee there's gonna be like this scene where they're like, oh, we're going through the rubble of the mountain and miraculously, the throne is still intact.
Look what I found.
Exactly.
Or by breaking the throne, you broke the spell and then the shards were freed, you know?
Okay. So
Great.
during this, Vea also sees that he has an elding bird named Clear. And oh my gosh, let's discuss the elding bird thing. Are they a dragon? Are they a phoenix, a vampire, a shapeshifter, all of the above? Like, does Arkin know that Clear is also a woman? Like, I have so many questions.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's intelligent, it shifts.
I love that she's like invented this new creature that doesn't have a lore. Like, you drink blood, apparently we learn later in the book, and you can become an elding. But they also rise again from fire and ashes. So they're kind of
Right.
like
So
this
like Phoenix.
vampire phoenix, but they also seem to, when they're a bird, be very similar to the dragons, but they also turn into humans.
Are they able to like resurrect?
Yes.
Because that's also very phoenixy.
Yes, that's why Essie's alive. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
So Essie is also an elding bird, right?
Yes.
So they can share their life force and their blood to heal other people, right?
Vampire.
Which
Like a
can
vampire.
also regenerate.
Like a
Yes.
vampire.
Like a
So
vampire.
does that mean that they can also tether other people's lives to their life?
I don't know. So, like, we don't know any of the specifics. And I'm just curious if Arkin knows that in this point of the story, like, does he know Clear is also a woman? Because when she dies, she turns back into a woman and dies with him. And I kind of weirdly think he must know, because later on in the book, it is insinuated that he is also an elding bird.
Right.
And if he knows he can transform into a man and become a bird, I would assume that he knows that she can transform into something else.
Right. Do we know if they have free will?
Did he have some sort of power on her that prevented her from shifting?
I don't think
that's
so.
So she had free will. So like whose side?
Yes. Yeah, she saved him. It's very clear in the story that she saved him and not the other way around.
And they both died together. So life force bonding, which
Yes.
means Pyrock
And
and
Essie
Essie are now bonded.
potentially bound. But I mean, obviously, that was also going that direction. I mean, the second they were like
Correct.
on the page together, I was like, ooh,
Oh,
second
yeah.
love story.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
100%.
Oh,
but
so
also
interesting.
during this, we learn the whole story from top to bottom between Arkin and their paw.
Yeah.
But for some reason, even though their paw was like the evil one who like burned him almost to death or to death because the elding bird saved him, he's somehow mad at Khan about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
What
God.
the fuck?
Oh my God.
It's-
Dragons and daddy issues.
Dragons
Dragons
and
and
daddy
daddy
issues.
issues. This
We're back.
man needs therapy.
We're back.
Woo!
It is
And that's that on that.
very interesting that he places all the blame on Khan of like, well, you took my place in the family. It's like, excuse me, this is all your dad's fault. Like, not
Insane.
Khan's.
Also,
What?
Khan's like,
Insane.
I never wanted this.
No.
I didn't even know who you were. What are you talking about?
Truly.
You don't even go here.
You don't even go here.
But here's the thing. It's not about Khan. It's about rejection, abandonment, feeling less than. Khan becomes the physical representation of everything that Arkin wanted to believe was stolen
sure.
from him. So it's like
Yeah.
For sure.
envy. It's envy disguised as
envy.
hatred. Yeah. And so when Khan repeatedly tries to reach him in a way, like he refuses it, because if he forgives Khan, he has nowhere left to put his pain. So it's a
Yes.
scapegoat, which is tragic, because Khan is,
Yeah.
I'm sure Khan is mourning the brother that he could have had, and Arkin mourns the
Well,
life he thinks that Khan stole.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think
He rips Arkin's head off at the end. I don't think he's mourning.
yeah,
the brother
because
he
of
could have
because
had.
of what
Because
he
of his actions.
because of his actions. Yeah, but also he kept a tally. So that means that he was pained by all of those things. He's like, you did this and this and this. I hate you. But when someone says they hate you, you know what I mean? Like he probably was like, you didn't have to do this, you fucking asshole. You need to go to therapy.
Yeah. He's like, we could have just talked about this.
Right. I think, yeah, dragons and daddy issues.
Dragons and daddy issues.
So we're back with Raven Khan. Slotcher takes over and goes and rescues her shard from the molten wall nest. She says they won't hurt Rave because she's already passed. And Slotcher confirms what Khan already knows, who she is, blah, blah, blah. And Slotcher says he One day we'll learn all of the truths that Slatra knows. We can infer that she means that Tyroth killed Elwyn, his daughter, etc. But if Rave is already passed, does that mean if Slatra ever leaves her, she might die again?
I
Oh,
felt
God.
that wording was also very interesting, and
Yeah.
it definitely piqued my interest because I was like, "Well, what do you mean she's passed?
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Like, is she a
is
Walking
it
Dead person?
is
Right.
she part god? Is she part immortal?" Like,
Right. And is this why she hears the creators? Why she finds the book? Why dragons respond
yeah.
to her differently? Why Slotra can exist inside of her? Like, is she something totally different?
I don't
Yeah.
I
know.
don't know.
Is she a third option?
Yeah.
She's the third option C.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think this series is going to end with her being dead because that would be ridiculous. Let's all
Yeah.
remember Divergent. So I
Yes.
don't think that's going to happen. But it is interesting phrasing that I'm not so sure about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's weird.
Yeah.
I can't wait. That's a bud.
That's a
I'm trying
bud.
to think of anything else to add onto it because I don't know. It's very layered and I don't know what to do with it because it doesn't make sense, but it's a real interesting phrase.
It is.
I agree.
And there's a lot of phrases in this book that are very interesting that we cling to.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think throughout both books, Sarah keeps moving like general themes towards integration, not separation. So Slatra becomes less Slatra. Rave becomes more herself. They begin
Yeah.
trusting each other. They like finish each other's intentions. So my prediction would be that the final resolution isn't one or the other. It's a fully integrated the dark, the light, the shadow, you know what I mean? Like all of you one. So like maybe she's already passed isn't foreshadowing her dying again. It's foreshadowing that she's already crossed like a threshold that no one else in this world has about the crown. Like maybe the renewal, like on to this next chapter where you've like leveled up or something. I don't know.
Right. Or maybe like Elwyn is now gone, and the more that Rave becomes Rave, she can put Elwyn to rest.
Or they just accept all of them. They're just integrated.
But
Yeah.
I'm also interested. They all have these silver ribbons, but it's very much a thread throughout this book that the silver ribbons are trying to be put back together to put Santa's back together, and they all have this purpose. They all have this thing.
Yeah.
But the silver ribbon is what is keeping Rave alive.
Yeah.
So,
That's why I
like,
say integration. Like,
But not anymore.
why not anymore?
Because she's now tied to the Book of Voyd.
that's true. She is tied to the Book of Voyd.
but
And
the Book of
now-
Void is
Well done,
tied
Allie.
to we think Salus. No?
Yes, but in a different way than the silver ribbons are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good
I like it.
connection. Good
I
connection.
like it, Allie.
that. I like that.
I like it.
So speaking of people being integrated together, so then we move on to where Vea is with Kaisari. And here we get the truth of Kaisari's life, her love for Salus, and Vea gives her the diary. So, I mean, for one, it's really powerful that she gives her that diary. Do we think it's her place? Do we think she was coming from a place of like, hey, if we both die, you should know this? But also kind of a weird step, right?
It is hard because it's kind of like, ooh, were you
Yeah,
the one
it's-
who really should
yeah.
have told her that?
It's morally gray. It's giving morally
definitely
gray.
morally gray. But at the
Like-
same time, if they both died,
She had to
she
know. It's
had
devastating.
to know. Like she
Yeah.
had to know. And I
It's
guess
devastating either way.
technically Elwyn is the one telling her because it's her diary, but
Right,
still,
right,
it's very
right.
messy. It's very messy.
Right. I think she just made an impossible choice.
Yeah.
She had to choose between respecting Rave's privacy or giving Kaisari the one thing that might keep her alive.
Yeah, that too.
Giving her a grain of hope too for survival.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point, Rave doesn't even know about this journal.
No. But also, like, think about
It's a
later,
lot-
fast
it's a lot.
forward. But fast forward, like, if Kaisari hadn't read this, how would she have learned it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would have learned it from that asshole. I also think it's interesting
Yeah.
because Faye spends the entire series keeping secrets because she thinks she's protecting people. And I think it's interesting that this is the first time when she tells a secret and she chooses truth instead, regardless of who it might protect or who it might hurt, because it was like
Mhm.
an impossible decision, but she just, she chose what she chose. I think that's character growth for her.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I mean, it feels like the diary doesn't really belong to Rave anymore. Obviously, Elwyn wrote it, but she wrote it to her daughter.
Okay, now we're bouncing around again. Rave and Con
Yep.
separate to go on their own missions, which are really the same mission. And once more, if Rave was not keeping a secret, they would have just been on the same mission.
Sure.
But Rave gets there first, learns that the Tri Council knows Con is coming for Avi and that They're lying in wait to capture him. So obviously now Rave is having none of that, but she kicks ass and then she gets to meet Avi and he says no one understands what he is except for her other. That's big Salus vibes.
I agree. This is
Right?
major, like, son of Salus vibes.
Made the son of Salus. I love it.
He's basically saying that he is an other also.
He is another
Yeah.
also, yes.
It's crazy.
But maybe he has this crazy backstory we have no idea about where, like, he's like Slotra, where he's just been, like, encased in ribbons. I don't know. But it's giving son of Salus vibes.
It's giving son of Salus, and it's a big bud. It's a big
I
bud.
love him. I love him so much.
I know.
And he has the little baby
Sweetie pie.
dragon.
I love
I
his
love
baby
the
dragon.
baby dragon.
But obviously, Rave saves the day because she's a badass and they escape. And when they come to rest, we get another Borg memory of Khan killing his paw. And my God, it was much gorier than I thought it was going to be.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
Whew. And
Good for Khan, though.
Brutal.
yes, Khan declares his crown will one day go to Vaya, who has sworn herself to the creators. And I kind of think that's where the story is going to end up. I think Khan is going to end up with Elowin in the shade, and Vaya is going to be the ruler of the burn.
I love that.
That's my foreshadowing. Yeah.
I love it.
And then Pyrock and his sister and his family are going to reclaim the Fade. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Yep.
Wouldn't be shocked.
Well, because Khan doesn't really want to rule the burn. Like, he's a great
No.
ruler,
No.
but he did it out of necessity, not because he wants to be king. He just wants to be with Elwyn. But she loves her people. She really wants to probably be queen of the shade. So I feel like he will end up being with her, and they can't rule both kingdoms like that.
Mhm.
And so I feel like this is foreshadowing that Vaya really will be the queen of the burn.
Step into your power. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I'm
do
feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm calling it
Okay.
now. Vaya,
All right,
queen
I
of the
buy it.
burn at the end of
I love it.
Vaya, queen of the burn. I love it.
Honestly, it's a great name.
I love it. And with Grimm maybe as her consort. I don't know. Sure.
I mean, the interesting thing with the Avi situation too is that this sweet little boy is like, well, I can get you out of your bloodbind, right? And so then they kind of devise the plan to help Rave sever the ties from Sareem, which is who's been torturing her this entire time. And obviously now they're not killing Avi. Obviously.
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 Good pun, Ash. Well done. Well done, you. You're so proud of yourself.
I am.
They go on their little montage journey to Gore, and Avi says that he has to do this because the song inside him is telling him that it's what he has to do.
This
So
song.
now we've got the
His
other
Salus
vibes.
song.
We've got the songs that he can hear. And also maybe Rave is not so crazy with hearing all of these voices that she was just like, I have to turn it off. She's hearing songs too, I think.
What if the song is creation?
The
It is.
creators?
It's
Like-
the creators.
It is creation itself.
But it's Salus's song. That's the thing, is no one hears Salus's song in this world because he's shredded ribbons, except for Kazari and this child for whatever reason.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
Like,
Great.
yep. Oh, and so this is my favorite part of the book, to be totally honest. We
Mhm.
finally start getting Pyrock and his POV and his story. And Rave tells him to go lay low in her former apartment and tells him not to go upstairs. So obviously he does. And he runs into Essie.
To be fair, I also would have gone upstairs. Hearing
Oh,
someone banging
totally.
around, 100%.
Absolutely. What do you
Totally
do?
would have
Twiddle
gone
your
upstairs.
thumbs? Yeah.
Totally.
I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm obsessed because, first of all, we find out Pyrock is the Prince of the Fade. That was like the only thing from the book that I was like, oh my God, finally a new piece of information
New info.
to a question we didn't even ask, which I loved.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I loved the immediate, like, oh, Pyrock and Essie are going to be a thing. Obsessed.
Absolutely.
Also, loved that there was a reason Essie was in book one, because when we were doing book one, we were like, why is this character here?
Yeah.
Because it was so short-lived. It was so like, why, what was the purpose of this?
Yeah.
Which
And
also, the apartment fire, which if she's an Elding Bird, then she can survive a fire.
Exactly, but Rave wouldn't know
Boom.
that because they never fully trusted each other. Yep. But he says
Dun dun
that-
dun.
that her ears are more pointed than a normal fae, and she looks like a portrait his family had in their library. And that means the royal library because he was the Prince of the Fade.
The prince. Correct.
Does that mean the Elding are the true former rulers of the entire world? I think they might be.
I think
Okay.
yes. I think yes.
Okay. So going
think
back
yes.
to the crown situation, Elding birds are red.
Yes.
I think the crown is a like marriage unity
For Elding birds?
between the
Between the
Elding,
creators and
between the Eldings and their family.
I love that so much.
that's cool.
That's
love
what I
it.
think. And somehow someone has corrupted, someone has broken, someone has divided
Yes.
them.
Okay.
I'm here
Anyway,
for that.
I
we
love
love
it.
Pyrox chapters, by the way.
I
Fucking love him
love-
so much.
He's like my whole reason for reading this book. Like, I loved this book. Don't get me wrong. I loved so many facets of it. But like I
Yeah.
said earlier in the episode, it just felt like we were getting a regurgitation of a lot of information we already knew, which was a struggle for me.
Mm-hmm.
And his chapters were like, my God, yes. Like, new relationship, new information. Somehow I did not see coming that he was the Prince of the Fade, but it absolutely makes sense that he would seek shelter in the burn with Khan if his
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
with everything that happened. So I was just like frothing at the mouth for these chapters. And I wish there had been more of them. And I was like, a fresh new story. Because like a lot of even Con and Rafe's story was just a lot of like, okay, we knew where this was going. We knew these conversations they were going to have. Like it just, while it was really good and it was excellent writing, a lot of it just felt a little not fresh to me. It was a lot of like repeat of what we got in book one.
I definitely agree. Like once we
Yeah.
finally hit his chapters, it felt like, okay, we're moving. We're grooving.
grooving.
Like we're
Uh-huh.
like we like this. What's happening now? What's Pyrock up to? Like
Yeah.
Exactly. And we all knew he had this tragic backstory. We just didn't know what it was.
him with the little dragon baby carrier, I can't.
I die.
It was so good.
I'm just like, I love you. Like somehow you got better.
Yes.
I loved you to begin with, and somehow that's adorable. And that made you so much cuter.
Yes.
Ugh.
And while Pyrock is doing his Pyrock thing, they break the bloodbind. Huzzah! It works, even though
Yay,
it's
for a
really
second.
uncomfortable. And they're all happy for like literally 2 seconds. And it was a trap because duh. And then this is super random. During all this, we get a very random chapter. It's the only chapter in the entire book, chapter 77, from the view of a silver ribbon.
I mean, it's a sentient.
But we didn't know it was sentient until this chapter.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
there we go.
And it's been slowly stitching Salus back together and righting wrongs. And so, I mean, this is why anyone touched by ribbon knows the songs, right? But like also, why is this chapter in here? It's so random. And honestly, when I was reading it, I was like, I don't feel like I learned any new information. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it was
It's
a weird
just-
one.
Yeah.
It was a weird one. This felt like not to dive into our roses, but if I had to edit something from this book, it was weird. And it didn't really add anything.
I don't think it added anything is the problem. I
Yeah.
don't feel like it was like story changing chapter that I was just
No.
like, oh, this gave me so many more details. Who knows? Maybe we'll look at it in the next book and be like, holy shit, it was right there
Yeah.
the whole time. But like
Right.
at the moment, I don't see it. And
Yeah.
so therefore, why is it here?
Right, because there's so many other points in the book where they talk about his ribbons and, Kazari says, like, she has to put Slatcher together again and do what needs to be done. There's a lot of Avi talking about doing what he needs to do with the songs. And it just felt like a little unnecessary, yet she titled it with this, like, all-knowing view of a silver ribbon. Like, it was,
Right.
like, this
Yeah.
super important thing. And I just felt like, especially on a reread, I was like, wait, why is this here?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
It
But
was kind of an
maybe-
odd choice.
Maybe when we get the next books, we'll be like, okay. Or maybe there's going to be in the next books lots of chapters of Silver Ribbon, but I don't think so.
Each ribbon has its own chapter.
Each ribbon has its own
chapter.
story. Oh my goodness. Or is somehow the silver ribbons tied to the silver saber scythes?
I mean, it definitely
Oh,
is.
God.
The silver saber scythe is silver because it has a silver ribbon just the way
Uh,
Slatra has a silver ribbon.
Mhm.
right. So now is Grim gonna help the silver ribbons tie back together with his silver saber scythe?
Probably.
Say that again 5 times
I'm
faster.
like
Seriously.
uh,
So then we get the most awful family dinner of all time.
All the time.
oh
All time. Yeah,
yeah. It's
that's where
not
we're
great.
at. It's not good. And it's one of the hardest scenes to read in the entire book. It's painful.
Yeah.
There's a
Because
lot of
also
things.
it's like how do you where are we going from here? Like it seemed really
Down. We're going
bleak.
down.
We're we're going down.
Yeah, exactly.
To the blue red
I
and
mean,
silly.
a lot happens in this scene. And I think I texted you guys when we were discussing this episode of just like, if this book was made into the movie, this scene would gut me. Like, if actors were doing this scene, it is rough, like
Yeah.
beyond rough.
I mean, Khan is bound. Rave is bound.
Everyone's
Arkin's
bound.
Arkin's just toying with everybody. He's like making Rave eat, which is somehow so creepy. Like
So creepy.
it's just
And we
ugh.
find out that Arkin is the Elding, the flourish isn't real. So Rave has this like whole crumbling like ideology of like everyone I've been sending to safety, I've been sending them to torment. And we find out Arkin wants to marry Rave when he takes over the bird and have babies with her.
Yeah, I
And
want to marry you, so let me light you on
oh,
fire so that I can throw you back into the pit. What the
seriously.
fuck?
And then, worst of all, he's the one who reveals all the secrets out in the open. Khan finds out Kazari's his daughter and that Elwyn always loved him and that their pa knew, and that's why Elwyn loved him. And also, Rave is finding out all of these things for the first time that she has a daughter. And
Yep.
oh my God, it's
With Khan.
with Khan. It's brutal. It is so brutal and not the way I thought that this was going to happen when I picked up book 2.
Yeah.
It was
It's
I won't say it was disappointing because this scene is really tragic in a beautiful obviously
Yeah.
way. Like the storytelling is great, but I also was like, "Oh, this is how they find out?"
so
Like,
fucked up.
it's so messed up, but it also obviously creates great emotion when you're reading it. Like it's
Right.
beautiful writing in the most terrible way. Um
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and it forces Rave to confront her past, and she even
Yeah.
finally says, like, "I fucked up by not confronting it sooner. Like, this is not how I basically should have
Yeah.
found any of this out." And we've
Exactly.
all been
Yeah.
screaming that for 2 books.
Yeah.
It's just awful. Whew, it's
Yeah,
rough.
nothing about this family dinner quotes.
Quotes.
Family dinner was good.
No.
Like at all.
And I was texting actually like, "Have you reached the family dinner from hell yet? You'll know what I mean when you get there."
Yeah. And my mind
Like,
immediately went to like, oh my God, is it going to be like the Christmas dinner and the bear? It's worse.
no, it's not like that at
No,
all.
it's so much worse.
It's like the red wedding on crack.
It's the red wedding. Yeah.
It's the red wedding. But weirdly enough, then we move to a different type of family dinner meeting between Arkin and Sareem. And it's super interesting because
Yeah.
she thinks they have this like grand relationship where they're kind of in love. And he's like, I don't care about you at all.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like she thinks that she's going to be like this almighty ruler. And he's like,
Yeah.
bitch, you played your role and I'm done with you. Get out.
Wild.
And he literally
Temporary.
makes her get out and throws her in the snow. And then is like, my Elding bird is going to chase you down and kill you.
He
Bye.
pulls the paw.
He pulls the
Run.
paw. He does. He pulls the paw.
He pulled a paw.
He pulled a paw.
He pulled a paw.
And not
Yeah.
a cute one.
So
Ugh.
we're little whiplash here because the chapters jump so much. But
Mhm.
we're back to Pyrock, and we know he goes after Essie because she's out on a mission. He's like, where the fuck did she go? And he almost dies. And
Yep.
she saves him by having him drink her blood. We know she's an Elding bird. So does that mean that Pyrock is going to be an Elding now?
It's either that or their lives are now tied to one another.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I don't think you can like drink the blood of an Elding without being an Elding yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Like a vampire.
Like a
Yeah, I don't-
vampire. It's very
I don't
vampire
know.
vibes,
It
I
is.
don't know.
which
I
is
guess
super
we'll
just
see.
interesting. Like, that's a whole nother layer to the story of Pyrock being now an Eldingberg.
Yeah.
What?
Slash potential king of the.
Yeah, King of the Fade, yeah. But he does say that he gave up all of his rights to the throne.
Yeah, but if everybody's dead.
And we know that it's not really necessarily a patriarchal or matriarchal society, and his sister is the ruler, and she married Caddoc.
Yeah. Willfully?
It kind of seems that way from his description. He makes a comment about how, like, the day they met eyes across the ballroom was the worst day of
That's
his life or
right.
something.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like it was maybe willfully, but who knows? Maybe later on we'll find out that she was manipulated, which seems likely based
Mind
upon
wefted.
all of the other kingdoms the Vaegers take over and how they took them over. So it seems likely that she was manipulated, especially because she also is now secretly going against him and helping people escape. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, just, interesting. He might be an all powerful Elding now.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Luckily, Essie saved Pyrock's life because then they go into the final battle and Rave and Khan fight in the pits.
Chaos.
Which is so crazy because, I mean, obviously Khan has the disadvantage on all fronts.
All
He's
fronts.
already had his heart ripped out, metaphorically, and then he gets stabbed. And then he's like, hey, so you got to go get murdered by the love of your life. Or, I'm going to kill you myself.
Right.
Make
I
your
mean, but
choice.
here's the thing. It's like the cruelest thing he could have done, but he completely misunderstands them because he thinks that they're going to choose survival. Instead, they immediately choose each other.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think Arkin can't conceptualize love.
He can't.
No, he can't.
Ray even says he's not a sexual being. Like, there's
It's
a moment
transactional.
when he's torturing
He
her
just likes
during the
pain.
family dinner, where she thinks that Khan assumes that Arkin is going to sexually take advantage of her.
On the table.
Yeah, she says
Right.
that's what get Arkin off. He's not like a sexual being at all. He gets off
Right.
only on pain. So he literally doesn't understand any concept of like needing another person in any
Right.
way.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
doesn't comprehend love.
Exactly. Love in any
Ugh.
like, not even
In any
lust. Like,
form.
he doesn't get it at anything at all, like human contact. But while all of this is going on, Uno and the Fate Herder, I
Oh my
love that
God, Uno.
Uno comes back in the story.
Come back.
Yes.
I love Uno. Okay.
And the Fate Herder, an unlikely duo. They save Vaya and Kizari. Like, okay.
Convenient.
It
So
was a little
convenient.
convenient because obviously there are premonitions in this world and it's happening
Yes,
throughout
of
the whole
course.
story, and they
Of
know
course.
that they need to save them, but like,
Mhm.
okay, sure. There is
Yeah.
a moment though where there's a glint
Oh, yes.
in the Etherstone when the
yeah.
Fate Herder arrives, and it's kind of insinuated that Salus sent the Fate Herder,
The Fate
and that
Herder.
they might
Right.
somehow be connected.
I
Yeah.
agree. I like that.
I do. And at the end of the story, Avi adopts the Fate Herder, which is also giving major Son of Salus, Fate
on.
Herder connected to Salus
Come
vibes.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a lot of hand
Just
in
as
hand.
like a funny note too, I love that Rave constantly calls the Fate Herder like that bitch. She was
Yeah.
like, of course that bitch would show up and lead me the wrong way.
Of course. I love the Fate Herder, weirdly. I do think he's
I
a
do
little bit of a
too.
plot convenience, but I also like love him.
It's also a really well done plot convenience.
Yeah. Much better than some other books, I'll say.
It's also just like with the writing, there's little notes in it that I think are so like not cheeky, but it's just very like funny because in book one, we obviously see that Uno wears like that little sweater. And like
Right.
in this, she's in her little sweater
leaves a pink
and she
button.
takes the button
Yeah.
off. And then everyone's like, that seems unnecessary and weird, but all right, let's go. And then obviously Rave finds it, which I think is so cool because she's like, how? Oh my God, it's Uno. And it's just like, oh my God.
I love that she's like, Uno, that little Minsk. Like,
It's
I
so
love
cute.
it.
And I think these are also the moments of levity in these like
Yeah.
really, really intense scenes that kind of help move the pacing as opposed to just like, oh my God, we're trudging through all of this trauma. It's like these moments of levity just give it so much personality that are awesome. And I really love that.
I
Yeah.
agree. But eventually, Kazari, they get out in the snow and whatever, and she unleashes Salus.
Mhm.
And I think it's probably because she's so close to death that the diadem isn't working as well, essentially. And she speaks some words and then he appears because she can speak his song.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I'm just curious, do you guys think does she have to be close to death or in mortal pain to do this? Do you think she can always do this? I don't think she can always do this.
I
I
don't
think
think
it
she can
has to
always
be
do this.
certain circumstances. Yeah.
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 Like,
I think
collectively,
it
we
was
agree.
an alignment of
Collectively, we agree.
everything.
He
Yeah, it
can't
was just
just pop
everything that
up
was
and be like, "Hey,
happening.
baby."
Yeah, I think it's a collective thing. Like he's responding to her being free, Ray becoming whole, like all the Lachos returning, the moon shards are being reunited, the ribbons
Silver
are restoring.
ribbons are around
Like it's
him. Yeah.
literally, I think it's like the final key. Like everything's aligned. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say I do love because there was question in book 1, and we talked about it on our episode of, like, is Salas genuinely in love with Kazari? Is their relationship real? Is he manipulating her or whatever? And this answers those questions of, like, he looks at her with devotion. He loves
Yeah.
her.
He loves her.
I
Yeah.
He
think he
loves
is
her.
truly the one that's like, you have to choose this. You can't force this. Love is a choice, and everybody has their own agency. It's all the other gods that fucked it up.
I kind of hope because there's so much memory play in this series that next book we get memories of them falling in love.
That'd
I
be
mean,
cute.
I hope so
That
because
might
that would
be a
also give
that
us a
might
lot
be
of
a
answers.
it
It
might be another
would.
series though. It's a good spin-off.
I don't
Yeah, they
think
have a
she's
lot
gonna
to
do a
wrap up in book
spinoff.
3.
I
Ugh,
think it's 5 books. I don't think it's 3. I
Oh,
think it's
is
5.
it? Whoa.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
that's a lot of pages.
It's a lot of pages. So I kind of hope we do get that backstory because it would help make a lot of things make sense. And it would just be like nice to have because I feel like right now they feel very detached from the story, even though they're so important.
Right.
And their love story seems to be really important, but we have no idea why or how they fell in love, which feels a little like isolating
Yeah.
as
Mhm.
the reader.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we're back with Raven. She collapses the mountain, etc. And of course, Arkin somehow survived because sure, plot convenience.
Duh.
But we do love Rave chooses not revenge, but her
Yes.
daughter. And she goes
Yes.
to her and she leaves
This is growth.
Khan. It's also like the ultimate like level of trust, right? That she leaves her revenge for Khan to take care of.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it's actually choosing partnership
Yes. It's
and
choosing
safety
love,
and love.
partnership, trust, all of
Yes.
those things that she has been ignoring for like 2 books.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's the ultimate growth, which is
it is.
so good to finally see.
Yeah.
She finally chooses something greater than her revenge and her survival.
Yeah.
And also on top of that, like I think it's also her letting Khan actually take care of her because
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
also has stake in the game of like taking out retribution. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
also it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm going to let you do this for me so that I don't have to do it.
Right. And also it opens up book 3 to not have to end with Rave murdering Tyroth either. Sorry, Arkin. Justice doesn't always mean revenge.
Yeah, which we
Yeah.
talked about earlier. It's like really beautiful to see that because bloodlust is such a physical thing in this world that it can be solved
Mhm.
in another way because there are
Yeah.
definitely questions about other characters as we discussed like Bea like is that bloodlust going to be a problem or is she going to want to all of a sudden kill Khan because he killed her pa and all that stuff and it's like I don't think so now that we have this answer. Well, Khan won't have bloodlust because he chases Arkin and cuts his head off. Because,
Off with
yay,
his head.
someone's got to have a 5-second win in this book.
I know.
Mhm.
But in the process,
Yeah.
Rygun dies? Question
No.
mark?
No, he does not. No.
I
It is very purposely confusing. It's supposed to be a question, but
yeah.
the whole point, I think, of Grimm in his 4 chapters
I
is
agree.
because we see the silver scales glinting from light of the scattered moon shards, and I think that was Grimm rescuing them.
Absolutely.
I
Me too.
100%
Yeah.
agree. Like that's how I took it.
Yep.
That's how I took it, even though at the
Me as
very
well.
end she says Khan is still adjusting for his feelings and Rygon and all that stuff. I think it's just because he was close to death and they lost so many other things, and Khan
Yeah.
found out he has a daughter and all this other shit.
Yes. And also, it's transformation.
Yeah, I think Rygon's going to be silver in the next.
That's what I was going to say. That's why I think the silver scales are transformation, and I think that's probably why Khan is feeling something different because it is different.
Yeah.
Now their bond is severed. So
Yeah.
he's definitely going to feel weird.
I think
Yeah.
Rygon maybe survived, but their bond is severed because he
Yeah.
severed it before he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But she did not give us a final
They
farewell, so it's not
they
it.
do have that moment of peace. They are in the cottage over with Avi, and they're all laying in the bed, and Avi adopted the fate herder because adorable. And, she gives knee back to Kazari, but she writes like words of strength under what she wrote before. And it's just,
I
Full
love it.
circle.
it was a really good ending.
I love it.
Before Rave dives into her memories and finds out how she died, which we know Tyroth murdered her. See, and this is like one of the things I said earlier, though, that's kind of a thorn for me in the book is all of book 2, we've known that Tyroth murdered her. It was so obvious. So, like, this
Yeah.
for me wasn't really a reveal at the end of the book. It was a little lackluster to me. It's like, okay, so you're
Yeah.
telling me something I kind of already knew.
Mm-hmm. Just the how.
Yeah, it's one of those memories, once again, that I'm like, I wish I had found out more real new information because I knew all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I found out,
For
but
In
sure.
like
it
full
feels
written
like it should have
sentences.
been earlier.
It also should have been like more to it or something. Like it just kind of felt like
Yeah.
all the reveals along the way in this book were things I already knew from the first book that were
Yeah.
so
Right.
heavily done in terms of foreshadowing that it wasn't even like foreshadowing, which is almost like telling the reader.
Right.
It wasn't little drops of hints. It was like obviously the other is Slotra. Like I know we quote unquote theorized it in book 1, but it was so obvious that it was Slotra.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so this was one of those things where it was like, okay, yeah, I knew that. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I totally get that.
yeah, we do get the epilogue though, and this is like one of the only actual twists in the book is
Crazy.
Sareem goes to Arkan's body, and if you're not really paying attention, you don't
Also,
catch
Sareem
this.
is alive.
Well, Sareem's alive. Yes, she apparently escapes Clear. Sure.
Duh.
How?
I honestly didn't catch this on my first read. So she is the Book of Voyd, first of all. Don't
Yeah.
know how she got it. Second of
Mhm.
all, she puts Arkan's blood in her blood binding vial, and she says, better safe than sorry. And then she
Mhm.
lights him on fire and says that she knows he will rise again, but bound to her. And
'Cause he's an
unfortunately,
Elding bird.
but we didn't know that until
Yeah.
this epilogue.
Right.
And that he's going to kneel to her. But the way it's like phrased, if you're reading it quickly, you're kind of like, okay, she's lighting him on fire and moving on. Like,
Mhm.
really, she's regenerating him.
Yeah. She
Right.
doesn't want to
Which-
be. Yeah. She's like, he will never betray me again.
And he's going to be bound to her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she says, for the wonder that re-gifted Arkan life so many phases ago to grip him by the throat and transform him into something that will never turn on her again. So he's definitely an Elding bird, which is
Yeah.
interesting that he never transforms into an Elding bird in the story when there are definitely moments that it would make sense for him to.
And also, that's why he likes fire so much.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, totally good point.
Mhm.
But the reason she's also there is because of the moonfalls. Hadian and Illum fall from the sky, just like Raven Slaughter did, and he walks out and is alive. And for those who don't remember, there is part of this book where Slaughter says that she gave some of her silver ribbon to Illum, and that's why she's alive. So Illum probably gave her silver ribbon to Hadian, and the only reason he hasn't shown up until now is because they haven't fallen out of the sky until now.
Right.
So now, yes, he is just like walking out, ready to be manipulated by Sareem, and that's where the book ends. But
But also, what does that mean? What does that mean for Arkan?
I do think she's gonna, they're both gonna manipulate him. But at the end of the day, he loves his sister, like loves her. They were like best friends. You can't break that, right? Or at least I would hope not.
No, it's love.
Well, I think the most interesting facet of it is like, what's Vea gonna think?
Yeah.
Because she's like, you're dead. I killed you.
And
Right?
she's probably gonna be relieved that he's not dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
But is he going to have the uncontrollable itch to kill her?
Good question.
We'll find out next time.
We will. On Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
It was a good ending. It was a great book. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've survived the moonfalls, prison breaks, dragon-sized emotional damage, and enough heartbreak to last several lifetimes, which means it's officially time to hand out some flowers and maybe a few thorns.
Welcome to Roses, Buds, and Thorns, our chance to celebrate our favorite moments, lovingly roast the things that made us scream into the void, and shout out what we are most excited to see next.
Because the Ballad of Falling Dragons gave us soaring highs, devastating lows, and at least 17 moments where Sarah A. Parker looked at us directly in the eyes and chose violence. So let's start with the roses before we inevitably spiral into emotional ruin.
I mean, Con.
Oh,
Con
yeah,
is
yeah,
my
yeah,
rose.
yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah,
Con.
yeah.
Con,
As a
yes.
human being or a fae.
Just,
like,
yeah.
just Con.
Yeah.
just as a
And
whole.
I do love on this book tour, her husband was with her a lot, and
He's so handsome.
he's literally Con's description, and everyone's just like, oh, so we get where the inspo for Con. It's so good.
Yeah.
There it is.
I'm also like, is your relationship like this? Tell me more.
I love it. I mean, I feel like for me, it's similar. It's just the emotional payoff that I have to say, I think I said it before, but their relationship is built on trust and choice and sacrifice. And like Khan might genuinely be the best book boyfriend we've
Of all
ever
time.
read. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
mean,
to
the
watch
waterfall
Rave
scene.
finally stop running from herself and choose love over revenge was like also really satisfying. And I don't think she'd be able to do that if she didn't have him by her side. And all of the things, like the emotional payoff of everything was like really well done in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think the fantasy elements of this book and series are so well done.
Yeah.
The
Just
world
all
building.
the
The world
world building, the magical creatures. I mean, yes, when you
Yeah.
first pick up book one, does the dictionary and all of the things intimidate
Oof.
you? Absolutely. But I didn't forget any of it going into book two. So it was like such an easier transition to be like, oh yeah, I know it all that. I
Yeah.
know where the fade and the shade and all that is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I have to maybe remind myself who some of these very minor characters are that she's just like, oh, yeah, Rave is with so and so killing Rek Zaros. And I'm like, who is that guy again?
Yeah.
But I felt like the fantasy, like this is a fantasy series. This is not a romantasy series.
No.
It is so just well done in that manner. I mean, she makes up her own languages. Like, come on.
Yeah. I think it's a testament to how good the writing is, though, that you don't have to like revert back to a dictionary or anything constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, she even has her own, like, they measure time differently. And like,
Right.
it's just the world building is so good. And the writing is fantastic. And it is very detailed and very flowery writing. But overall, like the characters are really deep and nuanced, and the themes are really complex and beautiful. And the comedic timing of everything is fantastic. And the characters like
It is.
Pyrock are just
Yep.
incredible.
Yep.
There's a lot of roses. And
There
while
are.
I do think that we do have some thorns, I think
Yeah.
overall
Yeah.
it was a really rosy book.
Agree.
Yeah. And a buddy book.
And a buddy book, yeah. Do we want to do thorns first or buds first?
Thorns. We always like
All
to
right,
leave it on a good note.
Let's hit these thorns because there are some.
I don't need to hit much of mine because I discussed it during our Threads of
Yeah.
Theory, is the pacing for me. It just felt a little off, and not in terms of moving the story along, in terms of answering questions from book one for the reader and introducing new information for the reader to have questions about. Felt really off to me. And I know we talked about this in our coverage last time. This was supposed to be one book, and I kind of felt that reading book two because I didn't learn anything new.
Interesting. I forgot about that.
Like, it kind of felt like a reiteration of the same story almost, because I was just getting her memories of the diary entries I read in the first book. So like, it was just like, okay, I'm not really learning anything new about her. She's learning new things about herself, but me as the reader is not having the same experience, which is different. And that made the pacing feel really weird to me, because I kept almost waiting for something to happen, because even though stuff was happening, it was stuff I already knew.
Yeah.
So it just felt like nothing was happening for a while.
Which also kind of leads into one of my thorns for it is like, why did Vea have to have just like trial after trial after trial after trial? Like, it was just
Give
like,
that girl a break. Jesus
okay,
Christ.
like I get it. Also, like 3 of those didn't need to happen at all.
I agree.
It was
a
like,
little
why
much.
is Vea even here for her just to be like, oh, and now I'm down again. I'm crawling through the
Be
woods.
down again.
Now I'm down
Yeah.
again. Like,
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it.
And we discussed it earlier too. The Grimm storyline felt a little like, I don't understand
Like,
why
what's
this was the
happening?
like
Yeah.
why was this the most exciting storyline when the way you've written him, unfortunately, feels like a throwaway character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no attachment to him whatsoever.
Like, I think just in a general sense, like, it could have been edited a little bit better in terms of where things landed in the story. Because again, like,
Yeah.
even when we were doing our threads of theory, trying to go through it, it's just like whiplash because it's like, okay, and now we're here, and now we're back here, but now we're back here. And it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, that
Right.
wasn't done
I mean,
great.
bold thing to say, but I kind of feel like if it was one book, her memories when she was remembering them could have been the journal entries. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it would have flowed a little bit better and felt more like good reveals
Yeah.
for everyone, not just the reader and not just the character. Because in book one, now looking back at it, it's like as the reader,
Yeah.
you get all the reveals
We
as the reader. The
yeah.
characters get no reveals
Yeah.
until the very end. And then in this book,
Right.
it was like the characters get all the reveals and the reader got no reveals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just felt like they did kind of actually need to be put into one book.
Isn't it
Would have been a very
Empyrean
long book.
that has like the journal entries that like give
Yeah.
you kind of backstories? I think that would have been the way to do it.
Or epigraphs in the story.
Yeah. I think that would have been a better way to do it. And then, or even like her diving in and like learning the memories with Slatra. I don't know. For the most part, I can't complain a ton about the book because I really liked it.
Yeah.
Same, and it makes it sound like I didn't like it. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. It just felt like it needed an editor, which is what we said about book one.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think book one is the only
they're
book
long.
we've ever chopped chapters out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also because of all these questions, we have so many buds.
Yeah. The thing about my buds, though, is I feel like I have the same buds as book one because the characters didn't evolve as much, or we didn't get as much of certain characters that I thought we would.
Right.
Like,
Like
Kazari's
Grimm.
still a bud for me because I feel like we still barely learned anything about her.
Correct. She's a bud
Yeah.
for me too. But instead of jar of mist, we have a reef.
Yeah. In terms of Kaisari, I'm excited to see where it goes with Salus
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like learn more about the Salus side of things.
Yeah.
I'm also really interested about the Book of Voyd and what that
Yep.
means for Rave
Yep.
being bound to it, and
Yep.
also
The white wreath.
Sareem having it.
I'm confused how she
What?
got it.
I don't like it.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Did she run away with it? Did she come back? Like, did you
Yeah.
sneak back in? I don't know. It's a weird one. I love Avi and I want to know more about him.
Absolutely.
I want to know more about the Elding whole situation. This is my favorite part of the whole series so far is the whole Elding bird thing. She's like created this new lore essentially. And I want to know everything about them.
Right. And the
And the
new jar of mist,
flourish.
the white wreath.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of these
it.
people in the flourish. Where
Where are they
Now
going? What are
what?
they doing?
Yeah.
Who are they with? Yeah.
all of those.
Yep. All right. I think that
Good.
wraps up our deep dive into the Ballad of Falling Dragons. And what a ride. We laughed, we cried, we questioned everyone's decision making, and we're somehow leaving this series even more emotionally unstable than when we started.
As always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to leave us a rating and review, share the episode with your favorite book bestie, and come join us over on Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon for even more romantasy, fantasy, chaos.
Over on Patreon, you'll find our drink tome featuring every cocktail and mocktail inspired by the Ballad of Falling Dragons, along with our vintage-inspired printable fantasy dust sleeve for today's book.
And next month, we're returning to one of our favorite worlds.
That's right. We're diving into Light Wielder, the highly anticipated sequel to Metal Slinger. If the first book taught us anything, it's that absolutely no one is safe. Every chapter has us questioning everything, but we are more than ready for whatever comes next.
So grab your copy, start your reading, and come suffer right alongside us. We cannot wait to break down all of the twists, theories, betrayals, and inevitable emotional damage together.
Until next time, saucy
Saucy
scribes.
scribes.
Ouch!
I love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.